Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. It is the two Brians. It is Tottenham on tour. We're here at the studio. I'm here with Mr. Brian Daigle. Good to see you, buddy. Hello, everybody. What's going on?
Good to see you. Yeah, we are back. It's been a very, very stressful time for everyone at Tottenham on Tour recently. So we have been a bit radio silent or YouTube silent, should we say?
Yes.
And we're going to rectify that starting today. So we apologise for the delay and the lack of content, but we are back. This is Ask Us Anything. This is your show where you decide everything.
You decide.
You literally decide everything. But first of all, I want to thank everyone for the well wishes for my wife, who was rushed to hospital on Thursday, needed surgery and has finally come out. Thank you to you who has been there, and a lot of the community and a lot of our fellow YouTubers who have been non-stop contact with me. So thank you. But how are you, Island?
I'm good. I'm glad she's okay, by the way. I just wanted to mention that. I'm good. I've gotten very busy myself with work. It's just been one of those periods of time. I think typically when we get back into September and the season starts, that also means my season of work starts. So I end up getting super busy and not having a ton of time either. So we're working on trying to figure out solutions to this, guys. But happy to be back. Looking forward to today. Looking forward to chatting some Spurs, despite how crap we've been. It's still looking forward to talking about it and seeing what you guys think, and then of course talking about other things too, because this is Ask Us Anything. You can ask us anything you want about anything you want to ask us about. So
get your questions.
Get your questions in. Yep, go ahead, Brian.
You'll see there's a bit of a house rules that we have put the pinned comment. If you're going to leave a question, please, because they come in thick and fast. Either put at TOT or at Tottenham on Tour, or
if there's an at the beginning of your question, that's probably going to help us enough.
That's going to help us enough, and we'll wait. How many questions are coming in at the moment? Can you see any?
I haven't seen any yet, so I just see some hellos from the people in the comments.
Yeah,
so
say hello to a few people.
Yeah, so I see Swifties in there. What's up, Mark? How are you? Simon Cohen's with us. What's up, Simon? Corey Boy 85. How you doing, Corey? Ian Ferguson's with us. What's up, Ian? Ben Kaufman is with us. Benny, feel free to join us maybe later when we're answering questions if you're able to from work, but also get your questions in if you want as well. We're just hanging out here.
Yes, whilst we wait for the questions coming in, you keep an eye on it.
Yep.
Let's have a little chat about, and it will be a little chat because it was absolutely crap. I'm trying to watch the 10 minutes.
Shite. You can say shite because that isn't a swear word and it is in the title.
Yeah.
It says Spurs are shite. Certainly in that performance, we've been unbeaten for some time, going back to last season, and have arguably last season, the end of it, played very good football, but this season we haven't seen us really properly click, other than maybe in moments and bits of games here and there. But it has been a difficult watch and frustrating, to say the least. If you didn't catch Brian's rant over on the Irish Hotspur, I recommend going over there. He showed it to me today, and it's pretty standard Daigle at his best. So certainly hop on over there and watch it. But yeah, it's just this game against Sporting showed all of the things that are still wrong with this team. I think there's some issues with the manager, and of course I know that's not an easy thing to talk about. I love Conte, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm not on a Conte out train, because that's ridiculous, but he does need to change, I think, his approach to what we're doing with the team at the moment.
That's a question. So questions are coming in.
Yeah, questions are coming in. I'll stop talking and get those questions started so we don't lose any.
So like I said, I did have a rant yesterday on the Irish Hotspurs channel. It was great. It was Brad, Jack, me, and David. And the question, which I'm sure will come up in this, the Sonny question, and people that would have seen it, I made a joke before I did it that I had to speak to my lawyer to find out if I can speak about Son without being done for treason or being called racist or any other name under the sun, because whenever I go on We Are Tottenham TV or any other stream or any other person speak about Son, they literally get ripped apart. Because so I have to make a disclaimer that every time I speak about him, I have to start by legal rights. I'm saying I love Sonny. So that's the way around it. The loophole. It's
a strange one, man. And I want to talk, if you don't mind, because you've had a lot of time to talk about it. This is my first stream in ages because it's been so busy. I wanted to talk about Sonny, particularly the decision to continue to play him despite his form being obviously poor. And I do think that the manager needs to take some responsibility for that situation. It has been very, very difficult to watch. I see some questions, guys, in the comments before I continue on that. Israel uncovered. Amir, when you're asking questions, please put an at the beginning of it so I can see it. I'm looking at a small screen. I need to see the at to make sure I star it. But I do see a question there from you, so I will star it for you. But yeah, everybody in the comments, if you're just getting here, put an at the beginning of your question so we know it's either at TOT or just at me or Brian. And we'll get it in our chain of questions to answer. But yeah, I think Conte needs to take responsibility for some of this, and not just Sonny, but rotation in general. I've been very frustrated with the lack of rotation, especially against Sporting. It was such a hard watch. Our midfield was haggard. Royale was tired at the end, arguably the reason for the first goal and the second goal. He was just not in his positioning, wasn't good. He got skinned. Just difficult to watch when you know you've got 5 subs, first of all. You've got probably the best bench Spurs have had in ages, that we've been able to look at the bench and go, we've got players on the bench that could come on and change a game. And yet he makes one substitution. One substitution. What is that? Like, for me, I'm anybody watching that game, unless he doesn't trust his bench still, but that was the whole point of the transfer window, was to make that bench trustable, and then we grow again in the next window, and then you grow, and that's what he said he was going to do. But you look over at that bench, and you got Basuma on the bench, you got Skip on the bench in the midfield. Our midfield was haggard. Højbjerg looked tired. Get them in. I mean, I know they had the full week, but also teams know what we're going to do. There's just this static, throw the same thing at it, see what happens, and see if there's going to be a difference, and we're just not seeing a difference. So I'm struggling with it. I just had to get that out.
I want to add on to with this bench now. People will know, again, I went absolutely ballistic on We Are Tottenham TV when the deadline was coming, and it was slow and the way it's ended. And everyone was saying, we've improved this bench, we've improved this bench, we've improved this bench. It's all good. It's all been brilliant. Now, technically, yes, we have improved our bench, but Conte himself is coming out and saying Basuma is miles off with understanding the ways of play, the passages of play, don't get me wrong.
But is he overthinking that though?
But no, but what I'm saying is, as a player,
against Sporting,
he will turn out to be a very good player for Spurs. I've got no doubt about that. But we were told, or we were led to believe, that we're going to get players for the now that are ready to come in, like Perisic, like Richarlison, and do the job. Now, Basuma's got to learn the role, and I understand that. But then when you have him on the bench, but he needs to understand the role.
How is he going to? How's he going to? He's got.
But that's not strengthening. That's not. That's just putting a body on the bench. That's not.
Yeah, but you've also got the player's going to need to understand the role, and they're also going to need to make mistakes to understand the role better. That's part of being a footballer, is learning from those mistakes and improving because of them. Against a team like Sporting, Basuma is a good enough footballer. He could have come in for a very tired Højbjerg, who looked off it because he was knackered. For at least the last 10, 15 minutes, is not going to hurt us. It's not going to hurt us. It's going to make us better, because you've got a Sporting team who are also very tired. So again, I think he's over analyzing, and this is me being, obviously I recognize he's the manager and he's won everything, so he knows what he's doing. I do think he's being very stubborn here, and I think that we saw him do such a good thing when he was at Chelsea, from switching to the formation they were playing to switching to the wing backs and bringing in players in those positions. He was very clear about it, and everybody got it, and it shifted immediately, and they went on a run of 15 games in a row. He has an opportunity to do something like that. Now, what that is, of course, I'm speculating here, but what that's going to be with the players we have, I don't know. But putting 3 in the midfield and playing 2 up top, and utilizing your wingbacks, playing that 3-5-2 for me is a good option there that he has, which we have the players to do.
So the thing I'll say, I'll talk about that, then I want to talk about the midfield.
Sure.
But when you say the 3-5-2 or the 3-4-3 that he did with Chelsea, is when he decided to switch after the Filth beat them, he had 10 players that could play that position and understood it. Bang. And you had an Eden Hazard who was at the peak of his powers, who could do that. And then, yes, they had Victor Moses that accommodated, and it just so happened to work. But he had 10 players there that could go, right, switch on. We know what to do it. There was a tweet that I saw yesterday, or the day before yesterday, yesterday, saying, do you know what? Eric Dyer at Chelsea or Liverpool or Man City does not get 8 seasons to try and sort this out. Man City or these big clubs have 2-3 seasons, and if you're not cutting it, bye-bye, off you go. You've taken us so far. You're not fit for purpose. Yeah. We're upgrading.
Yep.
No big team. We still have players from 4 managers ago. 4 managers ago.
Oh, I know.
And then you get back to it. But going to the midfield, I was saying all window, and when it's shut, the one place where I think you can say it's locked in for the 2 centre midfielders, if we're playing 3-4-3, I'm very, very happy with that 4. Skip, love him. Basuma will be great. Bentancur and Højbjerg. I would say that is.
It's a good four, but it's missing a bit of creativity, isn't it?
It is, but for that midfield too, it's not really the creative. That's not what Conte.
It's not where it's supposed to come from.
But what I tweeted yesterday, and I said, do you know what? I want to see Højbjerg and Bentancur broken up. I want to see, let's say, a Basuma and a Bentancur, or
something different,
because they are too similar.
Yeah, I agree.
And don't get me wrong, there are games that they play very, very well where we've gone and scraped the wins, like Forest,
where it's worked,
like Fulham, where they've done the job. But there is no flair. There is no creativity. You put a Basuma in or put an Ollie Skip in with one of them. There's a different. That could be the key to unlocking all of it.
Yeah, you could put three of them in there as well. And once you've put three in there, you could take. I think Bentancur has probably got the most creative, game when it comes to our midfield. You push him in the top of a three in the midfield, and you let him create, and you've got that extra body there, and you can dictate games, and you've got enough in that too. Of course, I recognize that means we have four players to play two spots, but that's the point. Then you have depth in both striker positions. You can have two players playing each of them, and you can rotate those properly. Anyway, it's a frustrating watch. That game was a really, really hard game to watch. We were really bad with the ball. Harry Kane played probably the worst game I've seen him play in a long, long time. Poor passing, just everything about it. We were late. We were last to the ball all the time, giving the ball away. Just really poor decision making. And in a Champions League game, Conte is obviously pretty upset about it. He had them come in a little bit early the next day, and I heard Tottenham On Tour on it at full time in the dressing room, and you'd expect that. Frustrating. The first loss in a while, so being as pissed off as we are is fine, but at the same time, there should be recognition, I think, that it is the first loss we've had in a long time. I think defensively, up until that last 5 minutes, we weren't bad in this game. They didn't really have a ton of moments. Marcus Edwards, which we can get onto, was brilliant. He was man of the match for me. For them, it was incredible. And again, apparently we've got a buyback clause in his contract, so hopefully that is the case, because that kid is unreal. Skinned like our entire team at one point. Looked like
Maradona
86 World Cup. Exactly, just running through everybody. Without Lloris in that game, we lose 4-0. I mean, Lloris made two very good saves, very, very good, especially that one. Like he got his arm behind him and was able to save it. So, but we didn't really create many good chances. Richarlison with an offside goal. How many chances did Royale? 3 chances. All straight at the keeper. I mean, just nothing of quality whatsoever in this game. It was brutal.
So how many questions are we up to?
How many questions? Let me just quickly check. Start 6, I think.
Okay, so we'll wait till we get up to 10.
Yeah, we'll get to 10.
So people keep getting your questions in. Just put that. But yeah, the thing I will say with Edwards, who I rated very, very highly, this is a board and managers that have, when it comes to recruitment, we have allowed people like Marcus Edwards and Madueke to let their contracts run out and go, but we have brought in or promoted and kept Harry Winks and bought Jack Clark. And it's like, you have let 2 youth stars go. Mark and Day could be another one. Thank God my boy Alfie signed. Thank God, because all hell was going to go loose. If Alfie
that would have been a tough one.
If Alfie,
I would have rant, but I would have gone on.
If Alfie had gone, I literally would have broke my shit. I literally would have gone nuclear. But you look at it as well, and what I want to address as well before we start answering, getting the questions in, is the amount of Spurs fans, or it's not a huge amount. People are now actually hashtagging Conte out. They are actually, and
you can be frustrated with a manager and the decision they're making, and not be a complete idiot and go to Conte out. I'm sorry, if you are that, then I think you're an idiot, because that's absurd.
Well, this is the thing. You got to remember, I'm using me as an example here. People will know the amount of grief I get for my stance on Levy out, and how passionate and how vocal, and from the very start of YouTube and way before, but YouTube obviously I've got a bigger platform.
Yeah.
And I get vilified for it. I have a lot of support, not for me personally, but I do for me personally, but also for what I stand for with the board. And somehow Conte gets this is the 14th manager, and you've had Poch, Mourinho, Conte, all suffering with the same thing. And I don't know how people can say Conte out. Yes, the football has not been great at the moment. It has not been great, but these people that are saying Conte out, people say
It's
to
just
me,
knee jerk. It's just knee jerk reaction to a bad loss.
I get
right?
the question thrown at me.
Don't go on Twitter.
As the Stelios and many other Store TV actors, and they say, well, who comes in? Who buys the club? Who runs it? Who's going to do this? Well, who the hell is going to come into the club after Conte? Should it when it happens? Whatever manager comes,
he hasn't signed. He doesn't want to sign a new contract, apparently.
Well, the reason, see now, when people say
I don't know the details of it, folks.
Someone said
saw a
something
tweet,
to me.
So I was like, oh god, here we go.
Someone said something to me. I can't remember who it was. I can't remember if they said it to me in person or via social media.
Yeah.
This is Antonio Conte. This is very clever from Antonio Conte, and the reason it makes, and I agree with this, is whilst he hasn't signed that contract, he holds all the cards.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's a power. It's a power move
because he
for
can
sure.
say either, listen, you bat me, or I don't sign, or you don't bat me, I walk.
Yeah,
and then the gates of hell open up for Daniel Levy. So obviously they want him to stay, and they know they need him to stay. So he holds all the. And I'm actually very. I never heard of that. I had never even thought of that theory.
As to why he would do it.
As to why because he wants to hold his cards.
It makes complete sense, and
does.
He's a very smart guy, so he's going to do something like that to ensure he doesn't get put himself in a position where he doesn't have that type of power. Especially coming into January, he's going to going into January knowing the failures of the window. I'm not saying the whole window is a failure, but the failures of addressing certain positions that he clearly knows we need to improve on. He's going to have that power still. You get me those players or I'm not signing the contract, and I get that. I mean, good on him is what I would say. Like, thankfully he's doing that, because I think that's the only way to get anything done properly is to do that, is to put Levy in a position where he has no option but to do anything. But back him. So hopefully that's what we see happen. So I'm just trying to catch the questions. I think we're pretty close. I think we're 9. So we got 9. So we got 10. Bobby K.
There we go. 10. So guys, just remember, these questions don't just have to be about Tottenham Hotspur. Don't just have to be about football. Can be about literally anything. So
first question.
Let's start doing it.
All right. First question is at TOT from Zach Robinson. Do you think our fan base is overreacting to the defeat at Sporting? I have an answer to this that I've been thinking about. I think they are. I think there's an obvious tendency for us to do that on a regular basis. We will overreact. We almost always overreact, especially if you go on Twitter. I avoided just doing anything like that because I was like, I don't want to buy into it. I think it was a hard watch. Obviously, we played, like, as we've already stated, how bad we played. It was a really, really poor performance. But yeah, there's a bit of an overreaction. I think if we see Leicester, is it away or
Leicester at home?
Leicester, if we're playing Leicester at home this weekend, we'll see how they respond. If players respond to Conte, then that's a positive. If you see like 2 or 3 games in a row with that type of performance, that's when I start to get worried. But yeah, it's one game. It's the first loss we've had in like 15 games or something like that over the course of last season. So there's a bit of an overreaction, I think, but I understand why it's happened.
I'm going to totally disagree with you.
Okay, well,
totally and utterly disagree with you. And the reason I say that is I've said it. We've all said it many times. If the players lose and they come off the pitch and we know they've given their all and they've given their everything, then there's no you put your hands up and go, do you know what, they left everything on the pitch, they've done everything they could, there's nothing we could have done. Then the football's been poor. We had the extra time off, unfortunately, because of Her Majesty passing.
Yeah,
so it weren't, and we looked so lethargic, so devoid of ideas, so there was just nothing. Harry Kane, every single player on that pitch, apart from Lloris and maybe Perisic,
yeah, Lloris was man of the match for Spurs.
Yeah, but
which tells you everything about how bad we were.
it was awful, and the style of football has been piss poor. So
brutal.
I think the reaction has mainly come from the performance, not the result.
Yeah, I agree with that, and that's why I said about this weekend, the performance mattering a lot, more so than the one game.
We'll have to, and people are going, oh, it's our first loss of yes, it is our first defeat of the season, and people go, it's our first loss in 13, 14, 15.
Under Conte, we had a good run.
I understand these runs of forms from last season. We haven't lost since Brighton in April when I was at Bobby K's, and that game was appalling. That was last season. Put last season to bin, or in the bit because it's done. Don't use we were undefeated this season. We are now defeated. Okay, but obviously the Premier League, and just so people know, I refuse to wear the lucky shirt during the Champions League because I'm so convinced that run has been on the Premier League. So the shirt will be back, the stain will remain, the streak will continue. That is back on Saturday. But yeah, it's got to the point where those levels of these players wanted to get back in the Champions League. They wanted to hear that wonderful music like we all do.
That's why I don't understand the performance.
That's the thing. That's the thing. They hear that music.
You think it would just level them up?
If all of us were there and we were on that sacred grass, and you hear that music, it's like you've just taken the best drug in the world, and you're like,
yeah,
right,
the high is there. Do you think the players would respond to that? Very, very disappointing.
And David Harris actually said something very, very true yesterday, which I didn't clock on the game. On the 87th, before that corner, when Hugo Lloris made that wicked save, they're all going around and high-fiving, going, "Oh, well done, wicked save." Hugo Lloris should be coming out and demanding to know why he should be going, "What the fuck are you doing? Why are you letting this player? Why are you doing it?"
Yeah,
it's all just, "Hey, high five! It's a corner."
Good save.
The mentality of it, and one thing that I really got annoyed with, and I've been saying, Eric Dyer should have been at Buckingham Palace all week because all he does is this. With his defending, with his hands behind his back. This has got to stop. He's back in the England squad, and don't get me wrong, I think he's played better.
Yeah.
But there are certain things that do not stand at other football clubs, and we're just like, oh, we're Tottenham. Yeah, we can't compete with those. We are Tottenham Hotspur, and we expect better. And we all would have put in a better performance than that. So yeah, I am totally on. This is not an overreaction.
I think it's an overreaction because it's one game, and that's my only point. But I also understand it, so I don't think we're too far off because I get why people are reacting the way they are. I just think you need I need a larger data set to make a decision on whether or not it's worth getting freaked out about. If Leicester comes to us and we lose to a Leicester side that have lost 5 in a row, then I'm concerned. Then I'm like, okay, shit's starting to get real here. But one game is one game, and sometimes players don't play well, and it doesn't matter the competition. They just have a bad game. It happened to be in a game where it matters a lot, and a lot of players were shit. So hopefully that doesn't stay the case.
Double header against Frankfurt now, so we'll see.
Yeah, and Frankfurt are mugs. They beat Marseille as well. So the group that was supposed to be easy is doing it the Tottenham way once again. Again. Zach, thanks for the question, buddy. We're gonna move on to the next one. I believe this is Amir, and
his round covered is.
It is, yeah. What's up, Amir? How you? Good to see you, buddy. Does Conte need to try a 2-3-5 with Kulu behind the strikers, or I think you mean 5 Kulu behind the strikers?
Yeah, made 2 up top with 1 in the middle.
It's 3-5-2, I think, is what. Or
3-4-1-2.
Yeah. I said this already, Amir. We were talking about it at the beginning of the show. I'd like to see him try it because I think, and I recognize that what Brian said is last season was last season. We still have a lot of the same players. They played very well in that system twice. One of them against the Liverpool side, who were really very, very, very good. I'd like to see him try it. I want to see him try different things. I want to see him be a little bit more malleable and not be stubborn. So for me, that's a yes. I think he does need to try it, especially against certain teams. Maybe not against Leicester. It depends on who you're playing. Obviously, the opposition matters. But what are your thoughts, Brian? What do you think?
So my idea or my thoughts were we were buying these. We were buying these players in to be able to play different formations and to have the options to do things. You look at the game against Liverpool at home last season when we played 3-5-2. You've got the option now, and I'm sure there's by the way, I love Sun. There's a Sunny question that's going to come in. We can play 3-5-2, but put Kulusevski. People say playing Kulusevski at right wing back for a game and have Kulusevski and Perisic, or even put Perisic at right wing back.
Kulusevski can put a ball in for
put Kulusevski, even if it comes to putting Perisic on the right wing back, so you can do it and putting Session on there to get the Emerson the hell out.
Or try Jed Spence for 20 minutes.
Yeah,
let him run at some teams. Jed Spence in the last 20 minutes of that game against a tired Sporting team who are a pretty small team. They're not big guys. They could, average height is 5'8", 5'9". Put Jed Spence on and let him run at him.
Yep.
They're going to be knackered. He's going to tear them apart. He's going to tear them apart like he did against championship sides who would arguably be as good as Sporting in that state of play. 70, 80 minutes in.
So the only real, actually we'll come to it because I know there's a question about his stubbornness. But yeah, when it comes to different formations, Amir and everyone, I would love to see different formations used for certain games. And one thing we've got to do is you've seen it before. This midfield is getting overrun with these two. So
change the midfield, put 3 in there, play with 2 strikers. Like I love the idea of playing Decky as a right wing back. I mean, talk about getting some quality in that position. I'm not sure how he's going to be defensively, but if you're playing against a side who doesn't have a lot on that left hand side, try it out. He even said it. Like Conte said that he can play in that position. So why not?
I'd rather see him more advanced. I'd rather see Jed Spence and see Decky.
I would rather that as well.
I'd rather see Decky.
But I just want to see something different. I want to see like okay, this isn't working. I still have other things in my pocket I can pull out and try.
We are right wing back FC.
We are right wing back.
Literally, I want to see a formation. I mean, my formation is literally we'll have 3 in the defense, 3 in the center, 1 left back, and then we'll just have a line up here of all the right wing backs that we've created.
It's funny we have all of these right wing backs, but we've played 1 the entire season.
It's like, listen, I don't know.
I want to even why isn't even Doherty? Doherty scored.
So do you know what?
I know he was injured, right? And I know there was a fitness problem there. Yeah. Maybe he's still not fit. Maybe he isn't up to snuff fitness wise. But we know what he did under Conte with the system. He's better than Royale at both defending and going forward. Like, why isn't he playing?
He will certainly balance the squad out better.
Yeah.
He will certainly balance the squad, but I
100%.
think I'd
he's
rather
not
see
the answer.
I'd rather see Jed.
I would rather see Jed as well, just because I think fresh. What he does, what he's going to do to defenses, he's got that pace and power that you want to see, like a Kyle Walker, like he did for us back in the day. He's got that kind of vibe, like he's going to play that type of football. So that's what I want to see. All right, next question we've got from Corey Boy. What's up, Corey? At TOT, do you think Sonny's dad is in his ear, saying that he's not world class has hindered Sonny's form this year? That's a good question. He did say that, didn't he? And that was sort of at the beginning of the season that he said that his dad said that. Pretty weird thing for your dad to say about it, but I mean, his dad has been kind of, his backbone and has gotten him to where he is as far as keeping him focused on football and doing the things he's supposed to. Hard to say what's going on with Sonny. I think there's a lot of it is he's played too much football, and what he did to eventually get the Golden Boot last season, it tired him out, and then we started the season so quickly, and there was no real proper break. And we're seeing that in form. We're seeing that with Mo Salah as well at Liverpool, who also won the Golden Boot, who's also not in form, who's also looks like very similar to what Sonny's doing. He's scored 2 goals, but he's getting chances, he's missing, he's doing all the same types of things. I just think that they both look tired from the effort that went into last season. What do you think?
We're now, where are we? We are now at September the 15th.
Mm-hmm.
So we're next playing September the 17th. If I had said to you or anyone, September the 17th, home against Leicester, how many goals do you reckon Sonny scored all season? Not one person would say 0. Not at all, for sure. Not a single person would say 0. His form has been
it's off a cliff,
woeful. I've said again, like I said on David's show yesterday. Every time I've gone on and spoke about Son, and the comments I get thrown at me, or in the comments on the YouTube ones they've clipped me, don't worry, he'll come good in the next game. And it's like, okay, so he's every single game I hear this, and he doesn't. What Sonny's dad does, obviously we know and we've seen the documentary. It is a very, very unusual situation for us.
Yeah,
to see how, and it's obviously a cultural thing about how Sonny's dad is very demanding, and the way
he's like he has like a coach as a dad.
Yeah, he's bringing him up in the way that he believes it is the way to do it, and he's very demanding and very, very strict on his progress and what Sonny does. It's got to have something to do with it. But Sonny, do you know what? He's approaching 30, or he may even be 30 now. It's a man's game. There is times in football. Listen, Sonny for 7 years has got the adulation of every single Spurs fan and other fans from around the world. But even non-Spurs fans, part of the game is being criticised. Part of the game is fans being a little bit unhappy with you, and it's how you deal with it. But I think that's had more effect of him than his dad. But I think his dad could snap him out of it. Let's face it, his dad.
You'd think, right?
When he got his bad injury, if you watch the documentary when he was in Germany and he had to take a year, or he done something to his foot, He worked him so hard to get him back, and he came back like a man possessed. Will Sonny come back like a man possessed?
If at 30 years old, probably not.
No, but he'll still come back onto his.
I think he'll get some form again, and he'll play well, 100%. And he'll be a good player as he is. It doesn't, 100%. It doesn't disappear. It's a confidence problem, and he's in his own head, and you can see it when he gets in front of goal. He's just that little bit of doubt is getting to him, and you can see it.
Correct.
We've got a super chat here. Thanks, Corey, for the question. By the way, we've got a super chat from AP Singh.
Thanks, AP.
Thanks, appreciate that. This season, either our intensity is very high or very low. Why can't we maintain same intensity through the match? Good question. I think that is a tactical thing, and I've noticed that with Conte. And I think I've seen it from some of his other teams. He has levels of intensity through matches, and you can see it shift depending on the sort of stage sure. It's sort of the stage of play that happens when. If another team is sitting deep and you need to press, you press, and so the team is a lot more energetic and they're pushing on to defenders. And then if the team is coming at you and they're pressing you, he seems to have a shift in intensity depending on the type of teams that we're playing. And I think that's by design from Conte. Do I love it? Do I think it's something that we need to be doing? I would like to see what I liked about Poch's team was the intense press all the time to make other teams uncomfortable. The more you push them back into their half and win the ball back, the more likely you're going to score goals because you're going to win the ball back in their final third and get chances and make them very uncomfortable. I like seeing that, and I like seeing the whole team do that. That's not really what Conte does. It really is very tactical depending on who we're playing. So arguably, if we're playing a team that's, a team like Man City, we're going to sit deep. We're going to, from an intensity perspective, we're not going to be overly intense. He's going to be very pragmatic defensively and sit in that sort of, 5 at the back and in the 4 in front and just be really, really solid defensively. So again, it depends on who we play. I think it's by design. But what are your thoughts, Brian, on the intensity?
Yes. I think you and me disagreeing quite a bit today.
Yeah, that's okay.
So yeah, with me, I don't understand this because every single game we've started, even the Southampton game we watched together, the Chelsea game, every game this season, we've come out quick on the blocks for the first 10-15 minutes. We've looked in the game, we've looked aggressive.
We've had games where we haven't though.
This season we have come out in the Premier League and we've started the first 10-15 minutes, even Forest when we scored. We've started brightly, and then for some reason, for 35 minutes, we just go, do you know what? We're just going to... And then the second half, we come out like he's put a rocket up our arse. And I'm being so true about this, and it's not just for Tottenham, I'm talking about all teams. This has completely got everything to do with the World Cup.
Yeah, I have had that thought as well. So
this has got everything to do with the World Cup. There are so many players there right now that are so anxious about getting an injury, that are so anxious about pulling up, so anxious about being tired.
It's such a stupid thing to put a World Cup in the middle of the season.
Until the World Cup finishes, not just Tottenham Hotspur, we're going to see
the intensity is going to be...
the intensity, unless you get like a Spurs versus...
But I also think that I agree with you. So we don't completely disagree. I think that's true. I also think Conte is doing that by design. I think he is because of the World Cup. He's trying to ensure that the players are not overdoing it, and that they get to a World Cup, they can get through it fit, and they can come back in January and play at a high level. He's even talked about it, and we've had it in Straight Outta Conte's where he's talked about the preparation for the season is different than any other.
That I agree.
And so we're going to see this. The intensity levels are going to drop, or they're going to shift, or they're going to be varied depending on the teams we're playing against. I think that's pretty normal.
The part where we disagree with this part is where I look at it is, you can't keep doing this in the first half against teams, because there will be teams.
Well, I don't disagree with that.
There will be teams where they will destroy you in the first half, or go ahead and you can't come back from it. And we can't hit and hope. Listen, when we have Pochettino, and this is what the reason I'm using Pochettino is because obviously the grueling fitness regime.
Yeah, I mentioned that when you were
we were in games the whole time, and we got the benefits of being so fit at the end.
Yeah,
we
scored in the 90th minute on a regular basis.
I remember the last season at the Lane, and I use that last season at the Lane, like Liverpool when they had Suarez and Sturridge, that season where they lost it to City when they drew at Crystal Palace, because they were steamrolling teams by the first half. They got the job done by the first half.
Get it done, yeah.
And then the second half, they could be like, right,
can relax a bit, yeah.
So if there was be anything, I'd rather see it that way, where we come out like like we did on the Pink Potch, aggression, game done, and then do what you need to.
I'd like to see that as well, but again,
That's-
I don't think that's the way Conte plays, and that's my point. We've got another super chat here from Bobby K.
What's up, Bobby K, brother?
What's up, brother? Good to see you. Pick up Alana a coffee on us. 3 Spurs boys send love.
Oh,
Cheers,
thank you,
3
brother.
Spurs boys, and thank you, Bobby K, for the super chat. We appreciate you, and I hope you're well, buddy. We'll talk soon. We got some more questions. We got lots, 21 to get through now, so we're doing well, rocking it. Appreciate the questions, guys. Next question is from Dave Hamilton at TOT. Is Conte too stubborn to change formation or players? I mean, again, we've been talking about this already. Yes, I think he is. I don't know if Brian will agree with me. Maybe this is another disagreement we'll have. I think he's being very stubborn. I think it's incredibly frustrating to watch him play the same team and expect to get something different from the exact same team. I mean, maybe he's testing to see if they've learned what they were shown in training, and you'd expect them to be able to. He would expect them as professionals to be able to do what he's instructed them to do, and they're just not able to do it. That may be the case, but I think he's being stubborn. I think even in certain key positions, I would like to see somebody different on that right side than Royale, who just isn't good enough for this team in the way we play. What are your thoughts, Brad?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, these people that say Conte out, and there's a lot of people, or a few people saying it. There's a lot of people that I actually think are Levy out, but they don't want to say it because they don't want to say, "Oh my God, the Levy out people were right."
Yeah.
I am as staunch Levy out as they come, and whereas he takes a massive part of the blame for everything at this club, Antonio Conte's stubbornness is starting to be an issue.
Yeah.
We were saying this last season that when we started playing the 3-4-3, we didn't have the players that had the intelligence to play it. They were literally,
especially from a depth perspective.
Yeah,
one player gets injured, we're basically
exactly
fucked.
We just didn't have it, and then we obviously saw the end of the season where he was running on fumes with the players that he could have, but they were players he could trust, and they got the job done. They've done it brilliantly. This season with the players coming in, he's gone back, and you see things like Emerson Royale. Now, there's people that have been saying this from the get-go. There's people that have tried to defend him. There's people that have said on a game-by-game basis, let's look at him, and I've been one of those. But after the Sporting Lisbon, there is no excuse.
So bad.
There's no excuse why he's not dropped.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to use rested. I'm not going to use rotated.
No,
Dropped.
Yeah.
Dropped.
Bluntly, please.
Because apparently Lucas Moura was going to become a right wing back. Apparently Kulusevski can be a right back. Jed Spence and Matt, it's not like
two of them are right wing backs.
It's like it's not like he does not have the options now.
Yeah.
You look at now. Listen, Harry Kane was woeful, but Harry, like I said on David Harris's show yesterday, the difference between Kane and Son right now is they're both there to score goals and create.
Yeah, and Kane's scoring.
Kane is scoring.
Yeah.
Kane is scoring.
Kane had one really shit game. He has been pretty good most of the season. I'd say pretty good. Not Kane levels good.
But the thing is, his job is to put the ball in the net, and he's doing it.
He needs to start dictating games again if he's allowed to. I don't know if he's been put sort of like some shackles on a little bit to what he's able to do in that midfield. When he did try to do that against Sporting, though, he just failed. His passing was awful.
Longley, I want to see more of.
Me too.
He looked
We're
really
better
good
at the back with him for sure.
And I'm going to say it now because not a lot of people are saying it, whether he's not back from his injury or not. But Romero in the last 2 games has been shocking.
Yeah, he doesn't look right either, does he?
So yeah, I think these are things that we can see. Obviously, we don't get paid the big bucks. We don't see what's going on in the training ground, whatever. But I think his stubbornnness.
It's hurting the team. It's hurting the team right now, I think, and I think from a unity perspective and from getting everybody to be better to slowly rotate. I'm not saying the whole team, but like a couple players each game in each position to give them all minutes and to give them all an opportunity to understand. So when they do come onto the pitch, when there's 20 minutes left and our midfield's knackered, they know what to do. You got to give them the time, and I think he's making an error there, and I think we're all seeing it. Hopefully, he saw it in that Lisbon game, and he's going to make some changes on what he does in game with rotation in the game as well as rotation with the squad, because both need to be done, in my opinion. What's up, Zach? Zach asks a question. We have no forward options to change the attack. Are we suffering from lack of backup going forward? My issues in the window is lack of forward options. You go first on this one, Brad.
Oh, you went to me with the window, didn't you? So yeah, listen, everyone knows my stance on this. People
tell them again, Brad.
People with a great window. Yes, the start of it was very, very good and very, very, very enticing to make us think, okay, maybe things are going to start happening. but once again, it ends with a whimper. And once again, as I've been saying quite regularly, it took us 8 years to find Richarlison for Kane. It took us 4 years to find Eriksen for Eriksen. I mean, fuck's sake, Basuma for Dembele. It took us since Carl Walker to find Jed Spence. If Jed Spence
if
is
he
the
becomes
answer,
that, certainly. Yeah.
it could be longer. And we've gone into this
How long
window.
before Pochettino becomes your next manager?
Oh, mate, don't, mate, people are already saying with Allegri,
I know,
Allegri leaving Juventus, Conte going there. Mate, yeah. So,
sorry, I didn't mean
so
muddy up the question.
you look at it. We've gone into this window again, not just attacking wise, Zach. We needed a centre back, a centre back, very very badly.
Sure.
We needed a recognised, ready to go right wing back. And we did need some creativity. And we've skirted around the issues. It's kind of been like, if you're in your house and your electric goes and your whole electrics need ripping out and sorting, you don't go say, okay, we'll deal with that later. Let's go work on the plumbing and then work on the roof and then we'll come around to the electric. No, you sort your goddamn electric out first. But we just seem to always say, okay, this is the main issue, but let's go around the houses before we address these issues, and attacking was definitely one of them.
Yeah, I have a bit of a different opinion, not completely different. I think that all of what you just said about the other positions, I completely agree with. I think that's pretty obvious. I think most people who watch Spurs recognize the places where we need depth that we currently don't have it. I think up front, changing the system fixes that very quickly, that depth problem. You go to 2 up top and you put somebody extra in the midfield and somebody who can create in that midfield, and then you've got 2 players for both positions in that. And if he's going to play one in front of the other or a traditional two strikers beside each other, you've got 4 players that can play in those 2 positions. 4 very good players you can play in those positions with good rotation, and we have the midfield to do that. So why aren't we doing it? And again, that for me is another thing with Conte, stubbornness. To the last question, you have an opportunity here to do something that takes the squad we have and makes the best of it, and that's what I'd like to see. And I think we could use a couple more. Mora's injured, and I recognize Mora isn't a great option. He's arguably not a good option anymore, and just there because of the contract situation. He's been injured, and I think Decky's gotten shafted a little bit with Richarlison coming in, week out. I think that rotation should have been Sonny. We have good players up there. They're not performing at the moment. I don't think we'd be saying this if Sonny has scored 5 goals like Kane had scored right now, that we'd be worried about the attack. We're not firing. So that looks more problematic than it should.
Well,
based on what we know about
it's kind of like what I was saying with Ollie Skip last season. You don't know how important a player is until they're gone.
And now Skip can't even get in the team now.
No, but now what I'm saying with that is now we're not scoring.
Yeah.
People are now talking, whereas Zach and other people have been saying, we need attacking midfield, we need creativity, we need goals.
Yeah.
People have been saying that, and then people are like, no, we've got Decky,
I think it's that attacking midfielder that's missing more than a striker. Or more than a forward.
Yeah, I mean,
for me, that's more of an important position to address, because I think it gets those other forwards ticking more.
Correct. No, you're right there, but this is the thing again. We can all see it, and once again, after the effect or after the matter at hand is we can't do anything about it till January, then you see it. So this is the thing. When people start saying this was a fantastic window, they should have waited until we got further into this to say, well, actually,
you really don't know if a window is good until you see the players you brought in play and if they fit a system and the system functions and all of those things, right? So we're seeing, the results of not having a very good window. Certainly, we're not really getting an opportunity, and this is again goes to Conte being stubborn at the moment, getting to see these other players that we did bring in play. We haven't seen enough of Basuma. We haven't even seen Jed Spence for 10 minutes in one game.
I think it was even that amount.
Yeah, maybe it was like, the last bit of the game there. So the players that we did bring in, we're not really seeing if they've made a difference to the way we play, because they're not getting the chances to play. It's basically the same team every week. So frustrating one. Hard to say. I do agree. It's pretty obvious that there's positions that we didn't fill, and I think most people see that. But I think that the attack would look much better with that attacking midfielder. I think that's the position. That's the thing that we're missing right now, is breaking through good quality defenses, the Eriksen type of player that we used to have that got in behind, and you play 3 strikers that all run in behind. They all do the same job. You need somebody who's going to give them the ball. And we don't have a player that's doing that, unless it's Kane, and Kane isn't firing at the moment.
In closing this, I think what's clouding people's judgments, and I don't mean this personally to anyone, when you say, is this the best transfer window under ENIC? Even I would say yes. but because it's the best, that doesn't mean it's been good.
It's good. Yeah.
It does not mean it's been good because we know what the rest have been like.
Yep.
So just because it's been the best, it's like if Man City went and had their best transfer window right now,
yeah,
you'd be like, holy
we'd be in
shit,
trouble. I mean, they kind of did, didn't they?
Yeah, but you know what I mean? If Liverpool,
you know what
I mean? If they went out and said, right, this is the best transfer window under these owners, you would be thinking for Man City, Liverpool, or whatever, you'd be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Whereas for us, it's just, yeah, okay. It's not like, oh my God, it's I think that's where some people within the whole Spurs fan base may be getting this. It was a very good transfer window under ENIC, and does that resemble a great transfer market, a great transfer window period?
It's an upgrade from what we're used to, but it doesn't make it a good one.
Exactly.
Yeah, which I agree with and I understand completely. I just want to quickly say before we get to the next question, make sure you smash that like button. If you're on here and commenting, then you've subscribed already. If you can't comment, that's because you didn't subscribe. So
please do.
So subscribe. So then you can comment and you can get your questions in.
40 away from 5,000.
40 away from 5K. We'd love to get there. We've got 60 people currently watching at the moment. Let's get all the everybody here who's watching. If you could smash that like button, that'd be fantastic. And again, like I said, if you haven't subscribed, please do. That'd be fantastic. So up to the next one, our one and own Mr. Ben Kaufman.
Talking of transfers.
Yeah, Ben, good to see you, buddy. Glad you're here with us today. Do I, as your de facto lawyer, have to remind you the added disclaimer. I love Sonny before making your case. Ben, it's probably a good idea. So just every now and again in the comments, just say, hey, it's for Daigle. So just say,
Tottenham On Tour, Daigle loves Sonny. It's my new way around it. When I do my next post-game interview on We Are Tottenham TV after Leicester, I will be dropping in the disclaimer. I love Sonny.
The disclaimer. You should just put it as your name on the screen. It just says
maybe that's another way around it.
That's a quick way, and then you don't even have to think about it. It's just there the whole time. You have Brian Daigle in brackets. I love Sonny.
Disclaimer. I love Sonny. Yeah, exactly. That's a good idea.
Thanks, Ben. Thanks for the help there to improve Brian's disclaimer situation. All right. We got next question is from Chris. Chris. For both of us. At both Brian's, due to Son's poor form, do you think he should be benched for Leicester? Yes, I absolutely do. I think he should have been benched 2 games ago. I think it was a mistake not starting Decky. I think Decky's been, despite Kane having 5 goals, Decky's probably been our best forward this season, consistently speaking, with his energy and creativity and just doing something that is different, getting at defenses and making teams very uncomfortable. So yeah, I think Sonny needs the rest, and I'd like to see Richarlison on the left. I think I think he's better off the left, and I think Decky is better off the right than Richarlison is off the right. And I think Sonny needs a break. And if that's going to be, if he's going to whinge about it and he's going to be uncomfortable, so be it. Like Brian said, you're a man, deal with it, and take a rest, buddy. That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, it's a team game, and could this rest and him coming off the bench and changing the game, let's say he comes on, like I said, he could come on 65, 70 minutes.
Just shred a team because of his pace, right?
Not even just because of his pace. He can see, he'll be able to watch what they are doing and where he can exploit it. And believe me, when the Leicester defence see Sonny start a game, it's terrifying enough. But then when they're realising, oh, wait a minute, he's coming off the bench, he's going to be a lot
especially
fresher
a tired defence,
And not only a tired defence, mate, a literally destroyed, dismantled, lack of confidence, lack of desire. They are, and their goalkeeper.
He's so terrible.
I cannot believe. I mean, I understand they let Kasper Schmeichel go because of his loyalty and his service or whatever. Yeah. But how you can let him go without a replacement, a able replacement to come in.
So we praised Leicester for some time on this channel and on other channels. They've really shit the bed when it comes to, and I recognize there's got financial issues due to COVID, and there's other things that have put them in the position they're in. But they're fucked right now.
So I have to tell you, so obviously I have a very good friend that I became friends with through Twitter when I went back to England to visit Bob, called Wayne Holland. I don't know if Wayne's in the.
I haven't seen him yet, but if you're there, Wayne, cheers, buddy.
So Wayne is a diehard Leicester fan, and I speak to him regularly about football and everything in general. But I spoke to him. I said, "What is going on with your team?" And he said, "Brian, listen, it makes sense with what he was saying. Leicester have still got the money. Leicester has still got money, but what he has said, and the chairman once again did a statement for the whole club addressing it, going, right, guys, this is where we are. I love their chairman. They said, listen, at the moment there is money available, but we have to sort this squad. The size of the squad they had is massive,
too big,
massive, and now they don't have European football. There isn't the income to
manage all those players.
So from what Wayne was telling me with Leicester, it was always get these players out the door, and then you can start bringing them in. But now, obviously, the Fofana deal went right to the wire, so it left Brendan Rodgers a lot of very little time to spend it. But from what I'm hearing from Wayne, like Brendan Rodgers is now obviously, I'm surprised he's still got a job, but he is a man that he is the next manager out without a doubt. I think
he almost looks like he's given up.
Yeah, I mean, if they lose to us, it's done.
Yeah, that's six games in a row.
And Leicester are still a magnificently run club.
Who comes in there to replace him? Do you think Pochettino is an option for him?
When I was talking to Wayne about it, he actually said his number one choice is Potter, but we all know that's now
not happening.
And I'm disappointed he's gone there. I'm
Me
really
too.
disappointed.
It's such a bad situation.
Pochettino was one of them, and he even threw one name in the hat. And I like this manager, but I think it's just one season too soon. Was the Brentford manager Thomas Frank? He's a
good manager. I don't see him leaving Brentford, and I agree it's not there yet for him. I think Brentford would need to go down or something before he would go to a bigger team.
For Thomas Frank, because I really like, especially
how
he
his
treats
football,
the way he talks to the fans, the media, everything about him I like. But I think it's very, very easy, and a lot of clubs suffer with this, even with players. When a team comes up from the Championship and they have a good season, straight away they're a hot company. We all know about second season syndrome. So if he can get the second season where Brighton finished mid-table, top half, whatever, then I think bigger clubs will start looking at him.
I think that's true as well.
I think he's a dark horse to become a very big manager in the next few years. But getting back to what was the actual?
No, you answered it. We've passed that question, but let's bring up the next one from Dan Coy. What's up, Dan? At TOT, do we feel the hype of Conte preseason and a huge publicity of the South Korean tour put extra pressure to perform after our great run to the end of the season? Maybe, but should it? I mean, you're professionals. You get paid a ton of money. You get the best facilities, the best manager, the best fucking stadium, the best this, the best that. There's no reason to be dealing with pressure this way. I mean, come on. Like you get to play football for a living. Piss off. Sorry, that's my rant. I'm like, if they're feeling pressure from publicity and a good manager and a good end of last season, it shouldn't be pressure. It should be momentum. It should be building up to keep going, not falling apart because, oh my God, there's pressure. Like, if that's the case, Dan, I'm not pissed off at your question. It's a good question. I'm just pissed off if it is the case, because get it together, guys.
Well, again, this question, and big up, Dan, this goes to show the difference between us and the big boys.
Yeah.
With us and the big boys, they just walk in with the breeze. You got to remember, like you said, when we talk about Spurs players right now, when they stay at the Spurs lodge, they have exactly the same bed, pillows, covers,
they're spoiled
everything.
Brats at the
when
moment.
they're in the
it's almost too much.
When they're in the dressing room at the home, they have air pumped through from the stadium so they can feel the air and the atmosphere and everything. There is not a thing that they have in their life which is stressful.
Yeah,
there's not. They have their private shit. They go to work. And you're at Tottenham Hotspur and you represent your countries and you're in the Champions League. That's what you want.
Yeah,
and that
you
is
ask for the pressure. That's your job.
The pressure should be you obtaining it. Once you've got it, it's like, right, this is what I'm here for.
Own it and
this
be
is
good.
what I thrive in. If we all came back from our summer holidays and went back to our job and said, you know what, I just had my holidays, it'll take me 7-8 weeks to get back up to speed.
A little bit of pressure. I don't think I want to do this anymore.
They'll just say, off you go. Piss right off.
Do half-ass work. Is that okay?
Exactly. I listen, when it comes to the big crunch game, like to win the title, to win a cup, to qualify for the next round, of course there's going to be pressure, but that's why you get paid hundreds of thousands of pounds per week to do that. And we use this, or Spurs fans use this, the pressure of South Korea. Well, Liverpool went to wherever they went to. Man City went to.
There shouldn't be any pressure with that.
There should be no pressure. There should be, oh my God, I'm going to Sonny's country. I'm going to experience his culture.
Was fun.
I know how much
they had a good time.
And obviously in the pre-season training, you know you're going to be trained hard.
Yeah,
You know it.
it's Conte. It's professional football.
Exactly.
It's all of those things.
It doesn't even matter if you're not Conte. Any manager, you go into
No,
pre-season.
but I mean, but all of those things matter.
Yeah, of course it does. But you go into pre-season, they're weighing you to check your weight to see you haven't overdone it.
Yeah,
they're and if you have, they're going to work it out.
Get ready. Yeah,
and it is conditioning to get you ready, so you don't have pressure this season.
Yeah.
So yeah, if Dan, I pray to God that's not the
if
reason,
it is, it's pathetic, and really we've got other issues,
and it just shows the mentality at this club.
Exactly, and that is a mentality issue if that's the case, and we do have a mentality problem, and Conte has talked about it and is trying to work it out of the lads. So hopefully we'll see that. We got another question from Dan. Cheers, Dan.
In a row.
Yeah, 2 of them in a row. At TOT, what do Decky and Bentancur have in order to get straight into the team in January? But other than Perisic and maybe Longley, others can't get more than a few minutes. This is sort of again about the rotation problem, right?
So no, this is actually a great question. So when Bentancur and Decky came in, first of all, we got rid of so many midfielders. We got rid of Dele went, and Dembele went, the Celso went, Hill went,
Winks went.
No, not last window.
I'm just kidding.
When they came in, but no, we can celebrate the Winks has gone. We can still celebrate the Winks has gone.
That's all I was doing.
But they came in, and Bentancur was always going to slot straight in. Kulusevski, obviously, when you look at the 3-4-3, that was the player that was missing from that front three, as we clearly saw by the impact he had. But I'm completely with him when it comes to right now, because Longley, I have been very, very impressed with what I've seen. Very impressed with what I've seen with him. I really, really have.
Yeah, I think he's got all the attributes that we need in that position.
I would have loved to have seen him in the defence against Sporting, because we had trouble playing the ball out and
trouble passing that game.
Yeah,
so somebody who could pass the ball.
I'm a bit concerned about why these players. That's right. I am concerned with why these players can't get in. The only one we know that's not going to get in is Fraser Foster.
Yeah,
that's the one you know for sure. Unless it's a Carabao Cup, an FA Cup, or Hugo is injured or suspended, he knows he ain't playing.
Yeah.
And it's just bizarre. I really thought we would have seen a lot of rotation. I thought we'd have seen a lot of variations.
Yeah, it's frustrating, Dan. I wish we had seen all of the players that when we got Basuma. For me, that was like the biggest pickup. Other than Perisic, maybe, because Perisic experience and what he brings to the team over and above how good of a player he is, but what he brings. Basuma as a player, what he did at Brighton against Harry Kane when we played Brighton last season was he just owned him. Like, I want that, and why aren't we seeing it? And he's not ready yet. He needs to play to get ready. I don't know. Anyway, I could go on that rant forever.
There we go.
I want to see rotation, and it's frustrating, Dan. I don't know whether we're going to see it. It could be the exact same team we saw on Tuesday on the weekend. Hopefully that's not the case. But at this point, it's hard to tell what he's going to do, because it just seems to be, square pegs into round holes for me.
Yep.
All right. So next question we've got from Mr. Bobby K. Again, what's up, Bobby? At TOT, why do you feel Conte is so hesitant to trust his bench? Same sort of conversation, yep. Bobby. I don't know. I think there's some stubbornness in his sense as to whether or not these players are going to be able to play a system that he wants them to play. And if they're not perfect at it, he's not willing to accept that they might make a couple of errors, but bring something different to the team that I'd like to see. So it's a hard one. I mean, you sort of have to ask Conte.
So no, the only difference I'm going to say with this one is, if you look at our bench, if we look at the bench against Sporting, you have Kulusevski that can come on and make an impact and change a game like that.
Mm-hmm.
Basuma, maybe.
We don't know yet. Right?
But
really, what it comes down to.
The way you look at that bench, the bench that we've had, the substitutes have mainly been defensive minded. So
yeah, he's just trying to hold on to it.
They are defenders. The way they're going to impact the game is if we're 1-0 up or 2-0 up or 2-1 and we need to close the game out.
Mm-hmm.
Right, the way they're going to make a difference is let's bring on a few more defenders so they can tighten it up. But if it's a tight game and it's a 0-0 or 1-1, there isn't really that player he can trust to come and go, right, you're going to impact the game, or I'm going to move you to here so I can move this one to here.
Other than that one player.
Exactly.
And it was Richarlison before he switched the two of them playing.
Exactly. So again, we go back to players brought in or stubbornness, or was he backed, whatever. And there's just not there. It's just not the when you look at it. When we used to have an Ericsson, you could bring on a Dele Alli. You could bring like in peak pot. There are players that come on and can change a game. You look at, and I know Man City are a different world apart, and I'm not.
We can't really.
But you look at them when it's like, I'll even go back to the FA Cup semi-final. We lost to Chelsea, and I was there when we lost 4-2. When he had Hazard, Matic, and Diego Costa on the bench to say, right, I'm resting you again for the league. On you go. We just don't have that. Yeah. And that's why I think the stubbornness is, because there aren't players on there.
Well, and again, I think that some of that is that he's stubborn and isn't giving them a chance. So we don't know if those players, we don't know if Spence is going to come on and change a game from a right wing back position, because we haven't even seen him try, other than 10 minutes or whatever it was in that one game where I think we were already winning, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah, but didn't you expect that bench after this summer to have game changers?
We have one which we didn't have at all before, so we've gotten one. Yeah, I agree. It isn't enough, and I think that's relatively obvious to see. And we don't need to get back into the window and talk about it, the failure of it. It was a failure to address certain situations that we now are blatantly seeing as problematic. So I just think Conte has more than he's giving them credit for, and we need more.
I agree.
We need more than we currently have. Both of those things can be true at the same time.
I agree.
That's where I'm at with it. Louis 2705. What's up, Louis? At TOT, how long do you guys think Kane and Son will stick around without winning anything, considering it's the same? It's the same this season. You know what? They have to win. They have to win. Whether they stick around or not. If they have a shit season and don't play well, and Sonny continues this for the rest of the season, and Kane plays like he did against Sporting, whether they leave or not isn't going to matter. We need to improve them because they're not playing very well, and they're sort of at the end of their run, that or at least at Spurs they are. How long do they stick around? I don't know. It probably Conte has something to do with it. What are your thoughts? It's a tough one.
I'm going to leave out Son on this one, and it's not because of I love Sonny. I want to solely focus on Harry Kane on this question.
Okay.
And the reason why is I've been speaking with people about this within my Unique Out group, and I was joking about it. Is you got to remember, these Bayern Munich rooms aren't going away.
Yeah, I know.
They simply aren't going away. And the thing is, at the end of this season, he has 1 year left on his contract.
Yeah, if he doesn't sign a new one this season,
1 year left
gone
on his contract.
Yeah.
I still believe he's waiting for Conte to sign before he signs. He is now coming to 30.
Yeah.
1 year left on his contract. Now, there's big talk that keeps going on about Bayern Munich, and they're making it very clear, or the media are making it very clear, that Bayern are starting proceedings now to try and find something. If Harry Kane goes to Bayern Munich, yes, it's like, my God, you're going to a Farmers League, but you are going to do what you wanted to do. You are going to win titles.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to win titles. And I was like, do you know what? And this is only should Harry Kane be sold this summer to Bayern Munich, let's just say, I will go absolutely stark raving, but beyond what any of you guys even imagine, because once again, we would have sold a player because why? He wanted ambition. He wanted to be in for winning things, but he didn't. So he left. We'll get money for him. But any striker Tottenham can try and attract without Harry Kane, as you're playing alongside Harry Kane, you're going to get nowhere near the class of Harry Kane. Everyone knows
he's irreplaceable. Everyone knows that
you're looking. He's irreplaceable. Everyone knows that you're looking for a replacement for Harry Kane. And I have said I will go mad. I even said in my Levy out group, you know exactly what will happen. The Levy people that are Levy in will say, do you know what? Look at the money we got for him. He was 30 years old. He was getting injured all the time. They will say, oh, do you know what? What a great deal we got for him. They will find a way to say, well done, Levy. Rather than saying,
yeah, I mean, we could go on and on about Levy there, bro. Let's get to the question.
What I'm saying is, this question here is, how long do you think Kane and Son will stay at the club?
Yeah,
I think if we don't win anything this season, Harry Kane could be gone. I am that.
I could see it. I could see him going for sure.
Convinced. This is the concern, because Harry Kane wanted his ambitions to be met. Getting Conte in, ambitions were met. Get Champions League, ambitions were met. Now
he's also got to take some responsibility. Oh, no, that's my point.
I'm with that, but there's Harry Kane. You got to remember, if you look at Harry Kane's career back at Tottenham Hotspur, every season has he delivered on what he said he's going to do. Has he been the top goal scorer? Has he been the asset? Has he been there? Has he, when we had Poch, got us the Champions, got us not qualifying for the Champions League and then into knockouts? Yes, he has. Has he got us to finals? Yes, he has. Has he not turned up at finals? Again, yes, he has. But Harry Kane has done everything he said he would do as a striker every single season. Even last season when it started off badly, he ended it on goddamn flames. And he has always, if Daniel Levy or the club had said, right, I want you to hit this is your target, he always delivers on his targets.
Yeah.
And it's whether his ambition is met. And that's what I'm saying. So this season, I'm not talking about Son, because Son, I think he's got his long-term contract.
He's going to be
it's a bit
for
harder. And then obviously, but Harry Kane, if he hasn't signed a contract by the end of the season, could be a big problem.
I think Welsh Gal makes a point, and I agree that there's a potential for him to stay because of Shearer's record. We all know that is a big thing for him. He loves breaking the records, but I think as he gets older, that will become less important than also winning trophies. So there's a balance to be played there.
I think the main one he wants, obviously, he wants Shearer, but we all know this season he's going to break Jimmy Greaves' record, and he will be immortal.
Yep. So that could be
so
enough.
If he could say, right, I can stay.
He could also go to Bayern and win stuff for 2 years and come back.
But that's the thing. He's got to look at, do I break Tottenham's goal scoring record and then go for Shearer's with the risk of not winning a trophy in my entire career?
Yeah.
Or do I break the late Jimmy Greaves record?
Maybe England will win the World Cup and then it won't matter.
No, and then he's going to break England's record.
As well. Yeah.
And he says, do I break Jimmy Greaves' record? Like Jurgen Klinsmann. Jurgen Klinsmann had a 2-year contract at Tottenham Hotspur. Loved his time at Tottenham. Absolutely was idolised for that first season. Absolutely idolised. And then literally was ready to commit to a second season. The second season was there. Bayern Munich came in and he said, you know what, at my age and the chance to win my first ever title,
gonna go do it.
I have to go do it. So
we could see it. We could see it.
Yeah, I can see Harry Kane, but hopefully he'll sign a contract.
Yeah, it'd be nice. Bobby K is back. What's up, Bobby? At Daigle, so this is for you. Do you think your love of Popeyes has clouded your judgment on other chicken establishments?
No. Do you know what? I actually tried, and Brian Island will know we were speaking about this.
Yep.
Popeyes was actually voted number 2 for fried chicken in Canada in a poll, and the one that came first, which I hadn't heard of, was actually a place called Mary Brown's.
Mary Brown's, baby.
And I did try Mary Brown's.
You did say that.
And Mary Brown's is actually very, very, very good. Popeyes still for me is, listen, I love being Jewish, mate, and Ben Kaufman and Amir and all the other Jewish people will tell you Bobby, as in Bob's and Kim B, who is in the chat, will come say they came round to my mum's for my mum's roast chicken and everything. Being Jewish, we love our chicken, but Popeyes is the go-getter for me. But Mary Brown's and other chicken establishments
there's some other ones, but they're small. And
Popeyes
is sort of that the chain that is a go-to. It's an easy go-to.
Easy.
Sad news about the Popeyes in my neighborhood. It's been closed.
The one we went to?
Yeah, didn't pay their rent apparently.
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah. Sad state of affairs because I got no more Popeyes to go to. It's a bit disappointing.
Well, thankfully, I have.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's other Popeyes I can get in my car. We got a question from Chris at TOT. Do you guys think we can recoup at least half the money for Emerson in January to get rid of him? Oh, God, it'd be nice. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Conte likes him. That's why he plays him every freaking game. He's even come out and said in his presser today, which we're going to get to, by the way, look for that later on the channel, that he likes Emerson and he thinks he's improved and he's looking a better player and blah, blah, blah. But he obviously did miss a few sitters at Sporting. So would I like that to happen? Yes. Do I see it happening? No.
Yeah. I don't. This is going to be another one where we're going to have to bite the bullet. Chris, tell you what will happen. He'll end up like Ndombele, Lo Celso, Dele, that we cannot sell him for money.
Yeah.
Because the price we ask by a certain person is too high. No one will touch him. So we'll end up having to sell him on loan and have him come back and then on loan. And then, no, I don't think I think this is going to be another one where the powers that be will have to keep loaning him out.
Yeah.
I can't see how, honestly, I cannot see. The only way we get money, I said a lie. The only way I see we get half that money back is if a team who plays a back four and will play him at right back.
Yeah, play him in his position that he's actually good at.
It, because then he may be able to get some kind of value for us.
Yep, absolutely agree with that. To start that with, next question we've got is a pretty good one, actually, from the one and only Mr. Dejan Kulishevsky. Why am I not starting? Dejan, I do not know, Decky, man. You're currently my favorite player at Spurs at the moment, so it's hard that you're not starting, especially when other players aren't firing and need to be. I think you've been our best forward this season so far, despite Kane having 5 goals. I think you bring more. You've brought more of your A game to every game that you've started or even off the bench. So it's disappointing that you're the one who's getting shafted in a scenario where I don't think it should be him.
There's no way it should be him. There is absolutely no way Dejan Kulusevski should be out of the starting 11.
Strange.
He started pre-season on fire, especially the Rangers game. I think he was unplayable.
Mm-hmm.
Southampton, when we watched at the Scotland Yard,
yep,
with probably Kane, many other people, he was unstoppable. Created the assist for Kane against Forest.
Yeah,
he is the one when he's on the ball.
He wreaks havoc when he comes on.
And
it's
you
ridiculous.
look at it when he came on against Marseille.
Yeah,
he came on and was doing bits.
He even did it against Sporting as well.
He
the best chance in the second half was through him when he came on.
I don't understand why we're doing it. He came in and was absolutely superb last season.
Yep.
And he has started off this season. For me, Dejan is one of the first names on the team sheet.
I agree. I completely agree. I've been every time I've seen the team sheet and he's not on. He's not starting. I'm like, what are we doing here? Why are we not playing our currently our best form forward? I'm not saying he's our best forward, but form wise, he's playing the best in any one of those front 3 right now. He should be playing every game.
I think it's him and Richie, in all honesty.
Well, Richie's been great off the bench, and then he's had some good a good start. He didn't play very well against Sporting. He wasn't great at holding the ball up, and he wasn't running at players the same way Dejan can. It's just a difference in the thing about playing him Richarlison to start is you have 3 players who are almost playing the same type of football, whereas with Dejan you got a player who can run down the wing, cross the ball in. There's a variation in his play, and their link up play with him on is far better than it is with Richarlison. Far better because they know each other. They've like from last season, the link up play between the 3 of them when they're going is incredible, and we're not seeing that right now. We're just seeing a static front 3.
Bobby K put that question in, I cannot get Popeyes out of my head. I cannot.
We're hungry. We're getting on lunchtime. We got some beef patties.
I'm ordering Popeyes this evening. Thanks, Bobby K.
Cheers, Bobby. Question from Ian. Ian. What's up, Ian? At Tottenham On Tour, do you agree with me when it comes to Kit Kat being a cookie and not a chocolate bar? I know Ben Kaufman has some views on this as well. It's a funny one. I think it is a chocolate bar. I think it's a chocolate bar that has cookie attributes. With the crunch that's in on the inside of it, but it is in a chocolate bar package. I think cookies are typically in large packages with multiple other cookies beside them. So as how it's packaged and how it's marketed, and the fact that it's chocolate on the outside, and so when you open it, it looks like a chocolate bar. It's a chocolate bar.
It's biscuit. It's biscuit.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
This is a Ben Kaufman debate.
I know the debate. That's why it's my first time getting to participate. Yep. So, but it's absolutely a chocolate bar. Mickey Maynard, why buy new players and Conte leaves them sitting on the bench? I thought this was rotation, but obviously not. Yes, Nikki, I have the same questions.
Yeah, it's a question that it seems to be a very, very hot topic. Which it is not just here. I mean, in general, with pundits, with shows on other channels, it's just what can you say? This is welcome to Tottenham Hotspur. This is what we do. We say we're going to do one thing, we do the other. It's the coach doing it, which is and a coach that we all love, obviously. And again, I'm not in any way saying that we should have a different coach, but you see this opportunity with the players we brought in to rotate and to see what we can get out of them and just see what type of squad we have, because it's a squad game and we're seeing them sit on the bench for entire games, and it's frustrating. So my mouth's actually going dry with fucking thought of Popeyes. Okay.
Oh, he's overthinking the Popeyes.
I am. So Bobby, your answer was yes. My overthinking of Popeyes.
He's made him hungry. Get a drink there, fella. What's going on with you? All right, Simon. What's up, Simon?
What's up, big
How you doing, buddy? At Tottenham, Brian Daigle. Do you ever play football for any Jewish synagogue side?
So I don't now, but when I was younger, I used to play for my Jewish youth club near me called Speck. I played for them for a good amount of years, and I almost went to one of the Maccabi games in Israel, but I injured myself, so couldn't go. But I used to be a pretty decent footballer. I want to get back into playing football here. I haven't played football.
I was decent when I could function, and I wasn't overweight and broken.
The first time I actually played football in ages was when I was at Bobby Kay's and his kids were in a tournament. So I went to go watch
so
them in the
you were
tournament,
at
and I went
the,
to the indoor pitches, and I was having a kick about with Big K and Little K.
Oh, that's fun.
And it was a lot of fun. But I tell you what, for me, having played football, like as we do back home, like during the after school, after work, during the summer,
Every
like,
time you got a minute.
yeah. And I used to be I used to call myself the left-footed, the Jewish David Beckham, because my left foot was just as good as his
Well,
right.
you're left-footed then.
Left-footed, mate.
I got a left foot and a right foot. I'm a little ambidextrous over here.
But yeah, so I did used to play at quite a serious level, but yeah, not anymore.
Nice. Good to know, Brad. We've talked about trying to play again, but I think I'm just past it. I don't know if my body's ever going to be able to. Another one for Bobby K at TOT. What needs to be done to get Conte to take chances on young players and give them a few opportunities? Season the same question we've had. We keep answering it, Bobby. No fucking clue. I wish we did. I wish there was an answer and Conte would come out and say, "Hey, here's what I'm going to do." And he's going to start doing it. I don't know.
Again, this goes into the fucked up World Cup. If we had been playing Nottingham Forest at the Carabao Cup at a normal time like we would have been now, we probably would have seen it. But seeing that this isn't getting played till bloody November after the Champions League qualifiers, I think he's not wanting to put youngsters in right now because obviously he needs to get this.
He's trying to get as many points, I think, before the World Cup, and it's overthinking it because of that.
I think he just wants to make sure that the first team that he wants to get him through to the first part. I mean, like I said, if we now win our next 3 Champions League games, we've qualified. We'll have 12 points. We're qualified.
Yeah.
For the last game, he can say, right, listen, here you go. Nottingham Forest, here you go.
Yeah, I think the cups are going to be the times when we start to see the youth come in. When it comes to the youth perspective, from a rotation perspective, we have players that should be getting rotated in, and of course we're going to talk about that until he starts doing it because it's pissing us all off. I got a question from Bobby K. Up right now. Do you really believe Conte shouldn't be having any fingers pointed at him regarding the lack of activity from him and the bench? Or should we be calling him out? I think, Bobby, if you've been paying attention to this, if you're still watching, I've been calling him out the entire show because I think it needs to be dealt with. It's frustrating. So, yeah, we should be calling him out. It doesn't mean that we want Conte out. It just means we want Conte to be a little bit more, less rigid, more rotating more and giving these players a chance to play and showing and letting them make a couple of mistakes. Again, I get the idea, and this is sort of what we just said, is that he's trying to probably get as many points in the Premier League as he can before the World Cup. And so it's just stick with what I know, and then maybe we'll see after the World Cup a little bit more of that rotation that we all really, really want to see with some of these players that have come in.
There we go.
All right, next one we got is from Welsh.
Hey,
what's up, Welshie? How's Adam Clark doing? Adam Clark is doing pretty good. I spoke to him, I think probably a few weeks ago. He just checked in. He said he liked our thumbnails. He said, "How you doing? We're doing well." He's busy doing Adam Clark things. We miss him on the channel, but he's got other things going on right now that are he's focused on. So we're happy for him doing that.
Yeah, I spoke to him a couple of days ago actually.
Oh, did you? Nice.
Yeah, he sent me a message. So we've been talking back and forth for a bit. Yeah,
cool.
He's doing Adam Clark things. That's very well said.
Yeah, exactly.
Big up, Welshie.
Cheers, Welshie. I think I put this one up already.
Which one was it? Yeah, you had.
Yeah, we did. So I started that. Sorry about that. We will bring up the next one. At TOT from Andrew Gregory. What's up, Andrew? Do you have any plans to do another mental health special? Plans per se, specifically, no. Plans, yes, and that it's something that we're going to do regularly. Check in with you guys, check in with ourselves. It'll happen. We don't have a date at this point, but yeah, probably maybe sometime during the World Cup or around that time.
Yeah, I mean, when we last talk, Andrew, and obviously we speak a lot via Twitter and now via WhatsApp. You know how important mental health and addiction is to this channel. We've done 2 already, we did the very first one, which was on Tottenham away, which was on May the 4th, which is Mental Health Week here in Toronto.
Yep.
And then we did another one in February when I was back in London. So we aim, obviously we're going to get bigger and better with each one we do. But I think we were looking at doing 2 a year around that sort of time, weren't we?
Yep.
So there will be another one coming.
Yep. Just make sure you get that bell notification, and you can go. That goes for everybody.
I'll let you know,
what's coming up.
But like Brian Island said, there's no plans right now for a date when there will be one.
But there will.
But 100 billion% there will be one, and they are something we're very, very proud of. What did we raise last time? We raised
$780 or so around there
per
something?
charity, wasn't it?
Yeah,
$1,400. I think we raised.
No, well, no, it's 800 in total, around 800 total that we split between the two.
So yes, it's something we're very, very proud of, and we will continue to do those shows. So they will be coming back.
Absolutely. Corey Boy 85 says at TOT. So with that being said about Sonny, I feel like he needs a rest, and I'm around him to say, come on, lads, this guy's here for your shirt. He's young and hungry. Do you want to lose your place? Essentially saying, just I'm guessing stick with him, but he's going to need a rest and a little bit of love from the manager and the players. And I certainly think that that's what would happen. I think that there's the group is definitely together. There's a togetherness in the group, and that's a good thing. So I think if Sonny got dropped or was rested, it's going to be good for him, and it's going to be good for the squad.
Do you know what I don't understand? And it's just kind of if someone's at work, like in your or everyday work, and they go, do you know what? You look absolutely exhausted.
Yeah,
you
go
look
home early.
Go home early, or take a half day, relax, and feel better.
Yeah,
you're like, oh my god, my
thank
boss
you
is
so much.
incredible.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
It's so wonderful. I love working for this boss. It is,
and I agree with that. But it is different, right? Like us playing sport. It's not just football, but any sport. It is different because there's a confidence thing when it comes to performance. There's confidence in performance in anything, but because it's sport, it's so in the moment, and if that's lost at all, I'm not saying I disagree. I'm just saying that I can see why there's fear of it sometimes, because if you lose that player's confidence, they may never get it back.
Yeah, but I say that. But also, you can look at the player and go, you know what? He's actually thinking of me. Not just what I'm doing on the pitch. He's looking after me, my mental health, as we were just speaking with Andrew, my actual physical health, my well-being, it's crazy.
Yeah, I agree. It's a strange situation when a player isn't, especially a player like Sonny, who was so good last season, isn't firing. You're trying to find ways of managing it. You're trying to find ways to get him back to where he was at the end of last season, scoring, creating, just running at defense, making them really uncomfortable. He just isn't doing that right now. So hopefully, Leicester, he'll get his first goal, and he'll go on a run, and we can stop talking about it. You can stop having disclaimers every time we say something negative about him.
I'm just waiting when Son scores his first goal, everyone will come at me going, "Oh my god, Brian, you fucking idiot!"
Of course. From Eugene. What's up, Eugene? How are you, buddy? Good to see you, man. What's your favorite cake? What's your favorite cake? That's a good question. I don't eat a ton of cake.
The first non-football related. Oh no,
we've had a few. We've had a few. We've had
the Jewish football club.
We've had Popeyes.
Okay.
Come on.
Oh yeah. Sorry, you got that back in my head.
Sorry. Okay, so you probably have had much different experiences with cake than I've had. The first thing that comes to mind for me for cake is Angel Food Cake, and I don't know if you've ever had that before. It is so freaking good. It's an American cake.
Okay.
I mean, you can get it in Canada as well, but it's just light, fluffy, bouncy, ridiculously tasty cake. It's cake. There's no icing. There's nothing else around it, just the cake, and it's fucking awme. It's so good.
Somewhere in the world, Bob Spurs is going, oh yeah.
Does he like Angel Food Cake?
No, but just with how you're saying it's bouncy, it's this, it's that. Bob Spurs will be
He's clipping me right now.
But it depends what you want to call as cakes. I love cheesecakes. I fucking love them.
Oh, cheesecake's amazing.
Especially when you go to the cheesecake factory. But no, but again, see, this is the thing. This is where we go to. My favorite. It's like I love apple pies.
Yeah.
I'm not big on like red velvet or carrot cake. I do like a good carrot cake. I love a good carrot cake. But yeah, my nan, God bless her, used to make the greatest apple pie in the world. And I mean,
we're talking cake, not pie. I know, you can't go off the question.
That's what I'm saying. I'm more of a pie or cheesecake thing than a cake. So if I have to go cake, I'm going to go carrot cake.
Go. There you go. So stick to the question, bro. I'm glad you finally did. So
I want to keep your noise down.
I had to go to these questions or go to the comments again. Everybody's going quick, and I was not on the page. I'm trying to catch up here. So let's get to the next one. Thanks, Eugene, for the question. By the way, I love that it was
non-Spurs related
question. Yeah, it was good stuff. So get those in if you want. Bobby K at TOT. What are your 3 worst flavors of chicken wings?
Why chicken?
3? Can we just pick one? What's with you? Like we went on your channel, and can you give us 10? I can't even think of 10. Can't even think of 3 right now. Worst as well. I mean, I love all chicken wings. I can't even think of a chicken wing I don't like.
So no,
if we're gonna rank them, I guess you'd have to rank them from best to worst.
With flavor, but this is hard to say with flavors. I mean, I love.
It's also subjective.
Exactly, but there's 1 type of food, and I love my spice.
Yep.
And there's one type of food that I just don't get, and I don't like is Mexican.
I know, which is weird.
So anything with like a Mexican thing.
It's like my favorite, Mexican and Italian.
Ilana loves her Mexican. So yeah, when it comes to worse, it's very, very hard. I mean, Ben Kaufman's going to see. I'm going to take him to, and me and Bobby Kay are going to take him to Duff's. We're going to take him to St. Louis. We're going to
try out the different different possibilities.
Exactly.
I'm hoping I'm available that day, because that would be fun to do.
Yeah.
You know what, Bobby? Why don't you invite Brian and I on your channel? I don't know, sometime next week or something, and we'll come with our wings, because I have to look like a menu, and I can think of like regular wings, buffalo wings. I can think of
lemon and herb. I don't like lemon so much. So
I
lemon and herb.
I like the lemon and herb. I think a dry spice is real nice.
Oh, mate, the dry rubs.
I love a good dry rub. You know, like you could put all of the wings that exist in front of me, and I would eat every one of them and enjoy them.
Yeah, lamb is my favorite meat, but chicken, I've gone. It's the Jewish in me. Chicken.
You love the chicken.
Oh, big
All right, Bobby K's got another one here. Sorry for the squawk there. TOT, if you were dogs, what breed would you be? That's a good one. It's another one I have to think about. I do love dogs. I would probably be a mutt, because I'm Canadian and I've got so many different bits and pieces of different culture in me. So I'd be a mutt. I'm like Irish, Scottish, English, Canadian. Even though I'm not from the States, but I lived there for 8 years, so I got influence from there. So I'd definitely be a mutt. I wouldn't be a pure breed of any kind. Him, on the other hand, definitely a pure breed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna have to go with my dream dog guy, because I think I've got the characteristic. I may not have the look of it, as in my dream dog is a Rottweiler.
I thought he's a poodle, not a Rottweiler.
I love
short-haired poodle.
I love Rottweilers, and the thing is with Rottweilers, obviously I haven't got the build or the physique of a fucking ready to roll, but I am very, very loyal. I am very, and I literally once my temper goes, it goes. If I could be a dog, I would have to be my dream dog, which would be a Rottweiler.
All right, there you go. Rottweiler it is. Yeah, definitely got the temper of the Rottweiler.
Yeah.
From Joseph at TOT, we could go to a 4-4-2 with Emerson, Romero, Langley, Sessegnon, Kulusevski, Basuma, Højbjerg, Perisic, Richarlison, and Kane. What do you think? I don't think we have the defenders to play for at the back. I would be really worried with Dyer in a 2. I think the reason Dyer is playing as well as he is because he has 2 players beside him, whether or not whoever it is, to sort of.
Not there.
Sorry,
Dyer's not in that 4-4-2.
Oh, didn't even see Dyer in there. Oh, it's my bad. I just assumed, because he's always in there. Maybe then. I still think playing 4 at the back for this squad, we haven't done it in so long. I would be nervous. We saw when we did have to go to 4 at the back in the game when we played a 4-2-4, and we got exposed pretty heavily on that side against Chelsea. So I'm not a big fan of the 4-4-2. I feel like it's very limiting creatively when you want to get up the pitch. I think 3 at the back with wing backs, especially under Conte, isn't going to change. But Brian, what are your thoughts?
So my option, my view on this is, first of all, Longley was at Barcelona. He was struggling at Barcelona.
Wasn't very good in it.
In a back 2 as a 3. I'm not opposed to going 4-4-2. I know there's limits to it, but I think when we're talking about this right now, we're trying to find a solution to Emerson.
Yeah, but that's just playing a fucking different player.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is this formation, solution. When we're saying Emerson will be a better right back than he is better right
I
wing
see,
back,
sure. But I'd still rather, I see what you're saying.
Sure. To making Emerson better,
but
which is the
player?
Worst of the worst.
Yeah.
It was like if Harry Kane only played well in a 4-4-2, then you try and work out
Sure, because he's your best player. Yeah,
he's the best player. But
Royale is arguably our worst player.
Yeah. So it comes to the point. But the thing is, as well, with this great question from Joseph is, could a 4-4-2 work? Possibly. Will we play a 4-4-2 whilst we have on Antonio Conte?
Never.
No. So it's not.
No. He would play a 4-2-4 before he would play a 4-4.
3-5. There's so many different variations that he would go till he went to that. Yeah. But for me, like I said, this 4-4-2 is just to try and get the best out of Emerson.
Yeah,
and that suffers Longley.
Yeah, it suffers our defense. Yeah. I think just we're much weaker with 4 at the back, and we can't really afford to be weaker at the back, not especially with the rest of our players. So, thanks for the question, though. Appreciate it, Joseph. All right, from Bobby K again. Bobby, you're just all over the place. Loving it. God forbid the Conte back to Juve rumors are true. If they are, and he leaves, who would you like to see replace him? Oh, God. I don't want to think about this, Bobby. I don't want to think about it. That's why when I saw that rumor, I was just like, can we not do this right now? I want to just enjoy a manager for a bit, win a fucking trophy, and then we can talk about it. Like, can we just get that? Can we just do that? Who would I like to see? I don't fucking know.
Well, you would have said Potter, but that's
I would have said Potter. I 100% would have said Potter because I've always liked him, and
Yep.
I think he's a top manager. I think he's going to have a good career. I think it might get ruined for going to Chelsea, unfortunately for him. But yeah, I don't know if I have an answer to that right now. Availability will matter. System will matter because of all the players we bought. So we're going to need to, arguably have a versatile manager who could come in and play multiple systems with the players that we have and be able to change it up. Potter again would have been perfect for that because he's very versatile. I'm going to go with Pochettino just to with the squad that we have. With his ability to sort of get them to understand what he wants them to do. We have the same players from when he was here, so they're going to know what he wants.
I'm going to say if that happens, it doesn't really matter who comes in because the team is fucked, the club is fucked. I will be on a plane back to London and I will not leave till Levy goes. And I mean that with all the intention in the world. If Conte walks and went out ever, if he walked out to do that, you'd see me in London very, very quickly. I don't even know how to answer. I don't know where we'd even go. I don't even know where we would go. But I wouldn't mind, if you look at the Italian league, there's the Atlanta manager who always plays very good.
Yeah.
I can't remember his actual name. He plays very attacking, progressive football like that. And again, you look at, like you said, Potter's come out of it, and I'm going to go back to what my mate Wayne Holland said. If it was a couple of seasons later, Thomas Frank might be up there. Thomas Frank could be up there, but right now, obviously, hell no. But it's very, very hard, and you got to look at it. If this is to happen, the managers that are available, as in right now, that are going to be there.
Yeah,
mate, I guarantee you, he'd look at Brendan Rodgers. I guarantee, because it would.
God, I would torture.
And this is the thing: if Conte leaves and he leaves under a cloud, you've got to think how many managers would actually want to touch this job.
Yeah, it's going to be poison chalice for sure. Thanks for stressing me out, Bob. I appreciate that, you prick. Love you, buddy. All right, we got from Angelo Hurley. What's up, Angelo? TOT cheers from America. Coys, any of the negativity just feel like too soon of a reaction. I feel like Conte knows what needs to be done. Every team has their bad games, just got to keep moving. Angelo, I agree with this to an extent, and we spoke about it earlier. If you apologize if we are repeating ourselves a little bit for those who heard us already talk about this specifically. I think the reaction is a little over the top for one game. I recognize why people are upset because it was so bad. We were so bad in that game, and it's hard to believe that after being under Conte for as long as we have, that we can play that bad. And against in a Champions League game, it was just shocking that it happened the way it did. I do think it's a little too early. If it continues, I will start to get worried.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
Yeah,
completely.
Cool. All right, thanks for the question, Angelo, and get more in if you want. And also, if you want to get your questions in and you want them answered right away, super chats are nice. They help the channel as well. We got to pay for our time here, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Raider 275 question for at TOT at Brian. Would you sacrifice a top 4 finish for us to win a trophy instead? I've only ever seen us win one trophy in my lifetime.
I will give up top 4 for a trophy 100%.
Yep.
I've been saying this.
I wouldn't have last year because we needed Conte so bad to stay, and the finishing in top 4 and having that potential momentum, which still might get ruined. I would have taken top 4 this season. It has to be trophy.
Every season, I will take a trophy over top 4. Every single season. Listen,
I get why.
Again, I'm going to be 44 at the end of this season, or once this season ends.
44, youngster.
And I was talking about this yesterday. Tottenham won 3 or 4 trophies before it went from 81 to 84.
I've only seen them win one,
and I've seen them win the FA Cup in 91. The Carabao, or what is now the Carabao Cup, in 99 and 2000.
Yeah, I mean, I was a Spurs fan then, but I wasn't able to watch it.
So this is it. And I'm sorry, but I want to be able to say I was there, or I saw this, I did this. I will always take a trophy over top 4. For whilst we're waiting for this blooming trophy drought to end, every season I will take a trophy over top 4. Listen, there's times, like you said, getting in top 4 is vital. In modern day football, top 4 is vital. but not at the sacrifice of a goddamn trophy for me.
Yeah, and I get that sentiment. I think just from last season, I was just so worried about Conte not staying with us, and I think that getting top 4 was a massive part of what was going to happen during the summer and being able to potentially move forward with the team. And we'll see how that goes post World Cup. I think the World Cup is just fucking up everything at the moment, sadly. Next question we got is from Kim.
Kimby!
What's up, Kim? How are you?
Big up, honey.
Yeah, at TOT, should we be surprised at the result when we still have so many average players, many of whom have been here for many years and past their sell by date? I mean, it's a fair question. I think I'm surprised because I've seen this squad of players under this manager play so much better than we played. So I'm surprised because they're much better than that, including the players that we wouldn't get rid of: the Suns, the Canes, the Romeros, the Llorises. I mean, he was probably the only good player on the pitch. I'm surprised because all of these players that we know are good weren't at all remotely there or up for it, or they're there to play. So it was a difficult one. I do agree, though, we have way too many players that we've had for way too long that need to have moved on, and we need to rotate the squad. So I agree with both of those.
Yeah, we have been way too average, and we have kept players way past their sell by date.
Yep.
And rather than saying, right, thank you very much for your service, you've taken as far as we can go, either your contracts run out or off you go, we hand them new contracts. And this has been an issue, not just now, but under this tenure, and I'm talking from 2001.
Yeah,
this has been a habitual problem that just keeps repeating itself. And every time, like when we got close with Harry Redknapp, when we got close with Martin Yole, when we got close with Poch,
close. Never get over the line.
Rather than adding to the squad, we strip it for parts.
Yep.
And then rebuild or start a new project. So it's not surprising. It's not surprising.
It's not. It's frustrating. We got super chat here from Michael Hellman. Michael, thank you very much. What is the SGD? I'm not quite sure what that is.
Sorry, Singapore dollar.
Okay, where's that?
Singapore.
Oh, Singapore. I thought you said Singapore. I didn't know what you said. Michael, thanks for the super chat, buddy. Appreciate the support. Fantastic stuff. And Coys and come on, you Spurs.
Big up, Michael.
Please come on, you Spurs. Don't make my life miserable like you tend to do on a regular basis. Thanks, Kim, for the question as well. Next up, we've got Rudy Toot.
He's back.
What's up, Rudy Toot? At TOT, what do you think of today's rumor that Conte is not renewing his contract and is after a return to Juventus? I'm going to say nothing on this because I don't like rumors. I think we've seen so much bullshit in the media that it's until it's actually been stated by either the club or by the manager themselves, I'm ignoring it. I don't want to ruin my enjoyment of football thinking about shit like this when there's no reason to believe that it's true.
Okay, so I will leave a comment on this. The one thing I will say about this is like I said, this is media. Juventus are flat broke, absolutely flat broke, in trouble. The only link with this is obviously it's his ex-club. He's obviously got an affinity with this club, and it's and it's in Italy, his home country. It's
shit talking, I think.
I don't think it's shit talking. I think
I don't think there's anything in it.
Listen. I think there is something in it, but when I say there is something in it, out of 100%, I think we're at the 0.5%.
Yeah, so nothing basically.
No, but this is the thing, and
it might happen in 5 years.
No, but unfortunately, this is what happens in football. When these rumors start picking up, and then whether they start getting and
nothing happens.
But
also
again,
happens in football.
This will happen unless Conte. It's feeding into the narrative. Listen, I said openly on this. When someone said to me that Conte hasn't signed a contract because he wants to have the power and hold ransom, which is I'm all for that.
Yeah, that's also demonstrable too, though.
For what this board deal with.
Sure,
we would all love to hear right now. Breaking news: Conte signs 3-year contract. There's nothing more I'd love to hear right now than Conte signed a contract. But I understand it's a game of poker that he's playing, and Conte holds all the cards. But until that's signed, as much as I love to say I love what Conte's doing, it opens you up for this.
Yeah, of course. But I also don't think there's any reason to think it's true.
I don't think if Juventus had money and weren't in the trouble they were in, it could be a possibility. But it's not.
It's utilizing the connection he has with Juventus.
Yeah.
And creating stir about something that is completely unnecessary
Correct.
to think about. So that is my position on it, and we can stop talking about it because I'm going to get mad. From is that Igor Make. I don't know what. I don't. Oh, J.
so.
It's a J. JGR. Anyway, sorry if I butchered your name. I apologize for that. It's hard to tell what that is. But thanks for the question, TOT lads. How long will it take till we start playing football like Brighton under Potter, or at least play football that's higher than Burnley level? At least, I mean that's pretty harsh considering we've only lost one game.
No, but the style of football, he's right.
But he's start playing like Brighton under Potter, or at least play higher level than Burnley.
No,
he's right about Burnley.
Mate,
Come on, man.
The style of football.
Burnley's not even in our league right now.
No, but the style of football Burnley played was known. I'm not saying we're playing direct football, but we are playing a very boring.
I agree. I agree.
Style of football compared to when we played Arsenal, Norwich, and all that.
The Brighton under Potter comment, I can agree with, and I think that's an accurate one. And I'd like to see us play more swashbuckling, open football. Comparing us to Burnley is absurd.
I know.
It's not even remotely close to Burnley.
I'm with him.
Oh, well, you can be with him all you want.
I'm with him.
It's still ridiculous.
It's been boring. No, I think what
Burnley though. Burnley.
I think what he's
Burnley
trying.
didn't have a counterattack.
I think what this person is trying to say is the style of football has been so boring and so dull. It's Burnley-esque. Like a look at Crystal Palace with what Roy Hodgson did, and now Patrick Vieira does.
I think I would agree with it if he was talking about under Mourinho, because that was closer to than this.
The football's been dreadful. The football has been. I'm with you. I'm with you, and let's hope we get back to playing the Conte way we were at the end of last season very, very soon.
Yeah, I agree that it's dreadful. It's not Burnley dreadful, but either way, DJ Red Alert.
Big
DJ
up.
Green Alert, sorry.
Big up. This guy is coming on the Late Late Show.
Nice.
So he's come over and subscribed to the Late Late Show. Big up.
What's up, DJ Green Alert? I think we chatted with him, or at least he was in the comments last time I was on. Brian, do you remember what I said to you a couple of weeks ago on your Friday night show? I said if we play the same we have in the league and the Champions League, we'll get trounced. Did we get trounced though? I mean, I understand it was a shit performance and we got beat and we deserved to be beat. We didn't really get trounced. They'd scored 2 goals in 90 plus minutes, and we're better than
they
us.
were the better team.
They were the better.
They were the better team for 90 minutes.
I agree. But we beat Marseille 2-0, so we didn't get trounced.
Sorry, at the start of the second half, we came out a bit brighter.
Mm-hmm.
But DJ Greenlight has been said what he said. It's just like I said when on We Are Tottenham TV after the Notts Forest game, when I said these slow starts and poor performances.
I thought you said we had fast starts though. You were saying earlier we had fast starts.
And if you listen to what I said the first 10 minutes.
But that's the start of the game, isn't it?
But then the next 35 minutes we play absolutely shockingly dull and lethargic.
I agree with that, but yeah.
So these poor performances when they come back to bite us in the arse, just like DJ Green Alert said.
I agree with this in this case. But I think being trounced is over the top.
Okay, so you're taking offense to the words trounced and Burnley.
No, I'm not taking offense to it. I think it's an inaccurate way to describe something.
But I'm going on the lines. The way that Sporting Lisbon played against us was so far superior and so shouldn't have been allowed.
I don't disagree with that.
That it was a diabolical
trouncing. A trouncing though is like 4 or 5-0 and comfortable, not scoring 2 goals at the end of the game.
Well, again, it Spurs lack of concentration again.
Yeah, but I agree with that. I'm just saying we didn't get trounced. We got beat deservedly.
Okay, so but before people start putting in their questions again, can you please refer to a dictionary for Brian Ireland to put in the right word so you understand?
Yeah, well, if you're gonna make a comment or ask a question about it, the words you use to ask the question, I'm gonna answer it based on the words you've used. So it makes sense to me to say, like, let's be accurate. I don't understand why that's a problem. Accuracy is good, especially when we're talking about what it is we're
trounced by playing Burnley
trying
to
football. Explain what's going on.
Being trounced by playing Burnley style football.
Yeah, I don't. It's silly.
I'm all for it.
All right, you could be
Next
for
question.
it. We can argue. That's what's fun about this channel. All right, from Mazzo at Dago. Let's say Kane goes to Bayern. Who would you like to see come in to replace him?
This is the question. This is the huge problem. Anyone that comes in is a major downgrade. Is a major downgrade because you're not just looking at his goals now. You're looking at what he creates and does.
We saw how bad we are when he's bad.
Yeah, it's like we
against Sporting. Right?
When the money comes in, and you got to remember how much money do we get to spend with the money we get with him. I cannot think right now of a player or a combination of players that will come in and do it. I mean. Unless you start talking, I won't be one of those that say, "Oh, we should have gone and got Haaland," or well, "Let's go get."
Green Alert says Mitrovic. What would you think of that?
Do you know what Mitrovic? I would have loved to have with Kane.
Yeah, I think that's what he said as well.
But at his age right now, listen, when the thing we've got to do when we find the heir to when this day eventually happens, whether it be at the end
The
of this
inevitability
season
of it. Yep.
or 3 seasons time. Listen, one of the things I will say is Dane Scarlett, and people who watch me on this channel or any channel,
He's going to come
know,
good for sure.
will know that
Yeah.
I've spoken about Dane Scarlett and said that, listen, I've been saying for since we've known each other,
Yep.
he's going to be bigger and better than Michael Owen. And if you have a player like that can hit those heights, you're going to have a very, very, very good player in your hand.
Yep.
So I think you've got to look at a player to play alongside Scarlett. I don't think Scarlett will be ready next season. If
Sonny
Kane was
could
to
play
go.
alongside. I mean, he's going to be here if he
And there's Richie. So
and Richie as well.
So, but do you know what? This is the thing right now. The way that strikers and the way football's played, that you only have that one striker.
Yeah,
It's not like
much
when-
different than 5 years,
Yeah,
10 years
it's
ago.
not like when you went
when
for
we
a
had, like,
striker in
4 or
another
5 of
team. It's not leaving that part. When you go to buy a striker from another team, let's say in Europe,
Yeah.
you're going to buy their number one striker.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
the price goes up, the value
It's
goes
harder
up.
harder to bring in.
It's
For
a
sure.
lot harder to get that striker in than like when we had a Defoe and a Crouch, or
we had a
Sheringham and a
Defoe.
Klinsmann.
We had a Defoe, a Crouch. Who else was on that team? We had
Robbie Keane
Keane,
and Pavlyuchenko.
Pat and Pavy. Yeah, we had 4 of them.
Yeah, but I'm saying right now it's much harder to try and.
No,
get,
I agree.
So,
Yeah. My only thought on this is that Kane's irreplaceable, and we need 3 players to replace one Kane.
Probably,
Arguably,
but
another midfielder
Scarlett will be one of them.
Probably another midfielder,
Alfie Devine.
a number 10, and a really
See,
good
this
number
I'm doing the Daniel Levy part now. Scarlett, Divine,
9. Yeah, there you
save
go.
the money.
Yeah, look at you. Like you've learned from him here.
I'm not learning shit.
Amazing. All right, let's thank you for the question, by the way. I love the controversy we're having in this conversation today. It's a lot of fun. What do we got next? We've got from Jagger. I'm going to call you Jagger because that's the easiest way for me to do this. At Daigle, who's your local team in England apart from Spurs?
So,
do you have a local team in England?
Yeah, I did have a local team. They've moved to Edgware now, but it was Barnet.
Okay.
So Barnet FC were literally a bus ride to me. But before, so I used to be going to Tottenham with my dad all the time.
Yep.
I wouldn't be allowed to go to White Hart Lane like when I was 12, 13, whatever, by myself. But I could go to Barnet.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to go to all of Barnet's home games. They used to play at a place called Underhill, which was it actually had a sloping football pitch. It was not that inclined,
but enough that it was
you could see it was like that, like 45-degree.
Oh wow! Did the ball roll down it?
Mate, yeah, honestly, it was, and they had some good players. Dougie Friedman from Crystal Palace started there. They had some very good players, and they always floated with the conference. And what was the 4th division or League 2, up and down. But yeah, I used to be a very regular at Barnet. So Barnet would be my local team, but Tottenham are local to me as well. Yeah.
I didn't. I have my local team's Toronto SC. So
and they're very local to you.
Very local. Yeah, just down the street. Awesome question though. Let's get over here. The next question we have is from Stuart. What's up, Stuart? At UT, why does Bobby K ask something? Sorry, you couldn't. You didn't have to. I mean, I don't know. It's a good question.
You have to ask him.
Yeah, you'll
ask him a question.
Ask him a question. That's a good one, though, Stuart. Appreciate the question. I think you've got another one. That's hopefully an actual question at Rudy. Oh, that's not for us either. Cheers, Stuart. I appreciate the comments. We've only got 2 questions left, so if I missed your questions, because it's possible, I've been trying to pay attention, but there's a lot going, and you didn't get them answered, hop in the comments again and ask them again. Going back to try to find them is difficult, and when you get yammering on like we do or arguing or something, it's hard to pay attention to everything. So my apologies, but get your questions in again. This one's from Kev Williams at TOT. Without having a crystal ball, by when can you see Spence cementing himself into the first team? In my opinion, he's better than Emerson and Doherty, hands down. Kev, I don't know that we'll see that under Conte. As we know, his opinion on Spence is he's a club signing and he's for the future. I would like to see him play more. I'd like to see him at least get a run out in the cups and we'll get a sense of him. I agree that he's better than Emerson and he's probably going to be better than Doherty. I think Doherty's probably a better all around because he's been in the Premier League doing it for some time. So in my opinion, he is better cementing himself. I don't see him cementing himself. I wish we would at least see him play some more to know. I think that's the part where I'm struggling with it. I just want to know I want to know if he's better than those players because I haven't even seen him play enough. But he looks like it.
I'm actually I was very critical of this transfer, but I wasn't critical of the transfer and signing Spence. I was critical of the manner of the way it was being conducted by you know who, And I was also critical of the manner of thinking. I wanted to see a more established right wing back come in,
right, like
and
a
he
like a,
learned
Par-
off
like a
him.
Perisic kind of scenario.
No, yeah, like a Dumfries, Dumfries to come in, teach him,
Right.
blah blah blah. But I do think he is going to do well at Tottenham. I really do think he's going to succeed at Tottenham.
I do as well.
And I think it's a case of when will he get his chance? I think he will get his chance this season.
I think it's gonna.
And I think
everything's gonna happen that we want to happen is gonna happen after the World Cup.
Yeah. Oh no. I mean, you got to remember he's going to have.
He's just
The
being
great
very,
thing
very careful.
for people like Jess Spence, obviously he will play against North Forest, I imagine, in the Carabao Cup.
For sure.
And he's got that opportunity. That's going to be in November before they break. And then
Right,
you've got
so
to
we have
remember,
that one cup game, right, just
and
beforehand.
then you've got to remember that then Conte will have a lot longer to spend with Spence than he did this season because he came in a little bit late because of the way
he won't be away for the cup.
He won't be away for the World Cup. It
really
depends
teach him his system.
It depends how.
It's a good shout, actually.
It depends how all Premier League clubs are going to say to the players about Christmas. Like, I know we're playing Boxing Day, but you can't have Christmas Day or Christmas with your families, but you can have some time in November, December where you go back home, we won't train or whatever. I think he will take his chance in the Carabao Cup if he gets it. I think if Conte has a month to train with him religiously, because it obviously won't be a bigger squad,
it'll be more.
He can spend more time with him, and then when we come back from the World Cup, the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup kick in.
Yeah.
So I reckon,
and I do think the shackles will come off what Conte's doing.
Yeah, they could be
in January as well.
And then again, it all depends.
And maybe
what
some
happens.
new players.
It all depends what happens in the January transfer market. But I expect to see Jed Spence have a little run in like January, February, and if he gets that little run, I expect him to take it, and he will become Tottenham's official right wing back.
I hope so. I mean, I think he's got all the attributes, right? He's the player, again, knowing what we know about him from an attribute perspective, because I haven't seen him play enough in the Premier League.
Yep.
He's got all the goods. He's got it all. Just let him loose a little bit, because Royale does not. Royale is not a wing back. He just doesn't have the attributes that you need to play it properly, and he's also just shit at crossing and trying to score. Bobby K's back again. The last two questions are from Bobby K. Bobby, I hope you're still with us, buddy, because if you've asked all these questions and you've left, it would be funny. At TOT, how do you feel about Dyer being called up to the England squad? Good question. I think it's deserved. Despite the negative things you can say about Dyer, I still think he's one of England's best center halves. That isn't saying a lot for England, because I think that Harry Maguire's in that conversation. And he's fucking terrible. I didn't check if he was on the.
I haven't even checked
on the squad. I only saw that Dyer was there, but somebody in the comments let us know.
I'm happy that Ivan Toney's in.
Me too as well. And he just well deserved. He's been very good since he's come in the Prem, but especially this season started.
That's another point with Harry Kane's replacement. I'll go back. I wouldn't mind taking a punt on him. I know
it's a good show.
I know he's not the standards, but
But you put him beside the right players and some service, he's going to score goals for you. And you need goals. If you lose Kane, you need goals. That's a great shout, actually. I would take Tony in a second. That would be an obvious one.
Again, back to Dyer.
Yeah, so Dyer,
that was my focus.
What do you think of Dyer? Are you happy with it? Do you think it's the right decision? I don't want him to get injured. That's my only worry, but I'm happy for him.
It's always great to see Spurs players in the England squad. It's always, say, right, you've been called back into England. And Dyer was very, very good last season.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very good. And certainly better than some of the defenders that have. Look what's happened to Tyrone Mings at Villa with Steven Gerrard. He's gone well off the ball. So for me, Dyer being back in the England squad is always a great thing, and it's always good to say thank God. I remember the days with Poch where we had half the England squad in the blooming.
It was like watching England Hotspur basically.
And then
we got knocked out by Iceland.
Yeah, but even at the World Cup in Russia, there was still a good few.
There was a few, yeah.
But then you look at it, and it was Harry Kane, and that just showed how we are depleted. So to see another guy in the England team, is always a good thing. And I hope he gets. I hope he's not there just to make the numbers. I hope he does play in a couple of.
I think he'll start. I think he'll be. I think he's going to be key for.
So that could be a great confidence boost for him as well.
Mm-hmm.
It could be, but yeah, always great to see players called up for their national country.
Absolutely,
their national country,
their national team. Yeah,
yes, that's what.
Bobby K again. Bobby's with two more questions. He's added another one. Cheers, Bobby. At TOT, who is more disappointing right now, Stuart with my questions or her fans with the poor football we have been playing?
It's over to you, Stuart.
Yeah, Stuart, answering the comments. I appreciate that. Good question there, Bobby. Good stuff. We've got one more from Bobby, and this is our last question, guys. So it's good. We're almost 2 hours in, so probably a good time to wrap it up. I'm very hungry.
I am.
So Last one from Bobby at TOT. You come home from a long day in the studio. The missus is waiting for wearing nothing but a Spurs shirt. What name is on the back?
There you go. For me, not for Brian.
I was thinking, I think he means what player does she like from Spurs?
Oh God, Ilana, Jesus Christ, Bobby, you know this. She hasn't got a Scooby Doo. I've tried to get her into football.
You got to just pick what player would she like, if she, like looking wise or style. Looking wise. You know, just like if she was going to pick a player.
Well, people say she looks like I look like Mora, so I'm gonna have to say Mora.
Mora, this guy.
So Mora on the back.
I'm gonna go with Dejan Kulishevsky because Nina's a ginger, and it's ginger with ginger. I think she would like that. So. Dejan Kulishevsky. Yeah, that's it. That's all the questions we got from you guys. Really, really, that was a ton of fun. And thanks for all the questions. Thanks for the support and the super chats. Ton of fun. It's going to be back. It's been a while. We again apologize for our absence. Brian, you want to add something?
Yeah, just a few things today. Bit of housekeeping. So first of all, like we said, we apologize for the lack of content from us. We are going to try and up our game with that. Ireland and I are going to make sure we're a bit more freer to get some content. Obviously, we've got Danny Kiriakou and Ben Ben Kaufman. So seeing that we have not been able to deliver a lot of content, we are about to have some lunch and then pre-record another of one of our favorite shows, Straight Out Conte.
Yep.
So that
new
will
press
be
conference
coming out
for the weekend. So
that will either be coming out later on today or
probably
tomorrow morning.
We'll probably just release it in an hour so you guys can check it out.
So yeah, and then also what I strongly recommend is in half an hour's time, our brothers over at Shelfside Spurs will be going.
Raid the Shelfside. We were going to try to go that long, but we ran out of questions.
Yes. So so at 7:30 UK time, 2:30 Eastern. It will be Shelfside Spurs, and it will be Rez, and I don't know who's doing it with Rez because Nick is on his honeymoon.
He is. Congratulations to Nick.
It could be Ben Kaufman. I'd imagine Kuva. Who knows who'll be there? Who knows? We might even turn up on that.
Could happen. It's possible.
So yeah, Shelfside Spurs, 7:30. But guys, thanks for joining us, and we'll have some new content for you very, very shortly.
Peace, guys. Have a good one. Come on, Spurs.